Welcome into the Cam and Strick podcast, episode number
317, baby. Let's go. Yoink. Yoink, 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 yoink. Right off the bat. I'm loud
trying
today.
To talk to Cam before the show, and he won't let me say anything.
My outfit's loud today. It's just loud. I haven't done this one in a while.
Looks like you're just
Yeah.
You just
What's
won
up? Let's go.
Competition at Six Flags or something.
Yes, exactly. Actually, this shirt is really, really comfortable.
Very comfortable because it was made by Hat Lunch.
Yeah.
And the hat is very comfortable.
I ain't going to Six Flags anymore.
I
told you guys that. No.
Years.
I told you guys that before. I already had my scare. It ain't happening again. It ain't happening. Can I give a shout out? Can I just give a shout out real quick?
I feel like
I hated
at the beginning of these episodes, you're coming in way too hot.
I hated it.
So can I ask? I tried to say something just a second ago.
Go ahead.
I tried to talk to you about a few things before the show started.
No, because I want to get
going.
going.
At me in the studio when I'm trying to ask you a few questions before the show.
We already talked on the phone before we got here, and you like to come in and talk about every single topic, and then we talk about it again. It just doesn't have the same reaction. And as you should know that, you've been in the game 30 years.
It wasn't a topic.
No, it would have been.
I was going to ask you a question.
What?
Well, I'll save it for a little bit.
Yeah, but don't be do question thing every time, too. You got to be...
I saw on Shannon Sharp's podcast.
What's he doing?
He wears his
Is he banging some chick again in the background?
On Instagram.
That's weird.
I didn't know.
What happened? My phone just filmed me. You probably had it set up.
But I got 8 million more views in my podcast.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it happened.
No idea.
I just hit Instagram Live while I was
And I set it up perfectly. Get on with yourself.
You just hear perfectly.
What were you going to ask me, dude? What?
Well, he had a guest on his show and he asked him, could you quit smoking weed for $1 million?
Fuck yeah.
Could you?
God, yeah. I wish somebody would pay me $1 million not to do something.
Okay.
Yeah. Big time.
You wouldn't try to cheat?
Well, if you'd get drug tested, so there'd be you'd have a watch on that fucking will take read your blood all day.
So you'd have to pay it back immediately once you.
Yeah, or you just give it away. But yeah, I could do that
for life.
I could do anything like
for
that.
Life.
Yeah,
for $1 million.
Yeah,
for life.
I would do it. If they gave it up front and then I had to give it back, yeah, I would just not smoke
forever.
$1 million. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I could.
I feel like you'd be giving that money back.
I feel like I'd be at parties God, can't do it. Let me hit that right quick. I can't do it.
You can't have any edibles
I wish,
either.
I wish they would say, I'll give you $1 million not to drink anymore. I wish somebody would say that to me.
I could do that.
I would do that. That would be more beneficial for my body. Right? Alcohol tears you up. It just does. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Weed doesn't. Weed is okay.
If I found somebody that was willing to give you $1 million to quit drinking,
God dang right.
But you got to give me. You got to give me half of it.
No, but
this is. But you got to give me half.
Andy, we're going down a weird path where I don't want to mock.
I'm just saying
people have to stop drinking, and I don't want to mock them by saying you got to give me $1 million. I don't want to play that.
Okay,
game.
all right. Maybe we take this out.
You're telling me I'm getting I'm trying to correct you a little bit. It's all good.
Tell you what was on this podcast. They were talking about it. I brought the subject and topic here.
It's all good.
So I'm not trying to offend anybody who's. You got to take it to such a level, dude. Now I feel guilty about it.
You should. I think about the people. That's it. I think about the people. We don't want to do that. But if you did do that, I'd be I would want to do alcohol. I think both would be very, very difficult. You're around the guys, you're around situations all the time. It's tough. It's tough for all you guys, and all you guys that did do it, like Chrissy Pondoff, who's fucking partying. He's I quit. It's tough. He hangs out with us all goddamn night.
But you know what? Having your life back and being able to live is worth more than $1 million.
I know.
You know what
because I mean? When you go down that weird path, and look, man.
So, dude, this was just a question. I may have to take this out.
Why would you take this out? This is good for people.
You threw a curveball on
Andy, I'm realistic, dude. I'm just a realist.
Yeah. Okay.
Aren't you glad I'm like that?
I'm watching.
Aren't you glad I'm like that?
Podcast. It's become one of my favorite podcasts to watch, even though I don't watch any other.
Aren't you glad I'm like that?
I just see the clips. Which is why the clips are important. You got to have more
Shannon Sharps. Yeah, they're cool.
So he asked this guy that question.
And what did he say?
I think the guy said he couldn't do it, but for $5 million he would do it.
Yeah, maybe $1 million's not that much.
I think he was like a comedian.
For me, $1 million for Kate and I right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we're good, but that would be lovely.
Your credit card did show insufficient funds.
She announced it on the PA system.
Some people may have missed that from the previous episode because it was towards the end. It was during the live reads and whatnot.
She announced it on the PA system at this restaurant.
She screamed it. And
She had I'm like, oh God,
attitude with it. We're at a very important business meeting.
We're ready
to close the deal.
I think she knew that we were goofy with her alphabet because
she
knew who he was.
She's
they're hockey fans.
Insufficient funds.
She's a hockey fan, so she knew who I was, and she did announce it a little bit. She did announce it a little bit, which is fine. I told you, I've been in these situations before. The way to do it. And although I think she probably knew I was okay,
we don't have to redo the
I'm just
whole
telling
story.
You, write it down, then give it to her, and then I'll give you another
and
one.
He had his nails painted at the same time. It was just
God, that was a weird day.
Really weird day.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I had to dig those. I did that with Chasers. It was so caked on. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And
how'd you get it off?
Chaser told a story on the radio the other day that Twister. So me and Twister got these nails done at Chasers Exos, and we'll give him a little shout out. And it was so thick.
That's 2 weeks in a row you've done that.
I know.
I
know.
So you better
I'm telling a story.
You better get on the phone.
I'm telling a story. Chaser said that Twister had road rage. Had road rage with some cats with these nails painted on a couple days later when we got done. And he didn't scrape them off like I did. I did it with my teeth, which is god-awful.
He had road rage with Chaser in the car?
No, but Twister told him the story. He told it on the radio the other day. And Twister got out and wanted to go with these two guys, which you need to stop doing that. I told you, can't do it. You never know if somebody's going to shoot you. It is what it is. And they saw his fingernails, and Twister comes out and goes, listen, I wouldn't be walking this way and have these nails painted if I wasn't a fucking shit kicker. Something to that extent. And the guy's like, oh, we know who you are. No, all good, baby. They got in their car and left.
Could Twister still do damage?
Yeah.
He's physically?
Strong.
I'm watching Tyson the other day how old is Twister?
50 something, 52. Is he that much more old?
No,
he's like 13 years older than me, so I'm 40, maybe 53, 54, 55.
Okay.
Maybe,
So Tyson's 58.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was.
So, so can you just assume that Twister could still would you advise him getting involved in those type of situations?
Absolutely not. Although he could do Tyson's fighting other guys that are 6'4", jacked out of their minds on $1 million training. You have all the best training. Yeah, you're not the two South County boys that are getting out of the car and they see Twister I don't think so. But if Twister's going against Jake Paul in a boxing match, like Evander Kane keeps calling out, why are you doing that, homie? It's all good. I respect Evander Kane, dude. He's tough. He knocked some guys out in the NHL. Did he fight all the heavies and stuff? I don't think so. Are you that good of a boxer where you're going to fight Jake Paul? He'd fuck you up. You're not even beating guys up now in the show. Fight that Olivier or something first. Fight one of these shit kickers like Delorier or whoever, McDermott, Some of these guys, there's some badass fights going on. Fight a couple of those guys. Go toe-to-toe with them. Go for 2 minutes, actually. But you're going to call out Jake Paul. I got to look at that what's up?
Go be the heavy?
Go be a heavy for a fucking week or two. You're hurt right now, for one. But Jake Paul would probably fuck you up.
But I feel like they had
no offense.
I feel like he went after Jake Paul before.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
And so he's trying to interject him into the Jake Paul story here when Jake Paul obviously is getting a lot of attention.
He's got work
to do. But you're not going to get Jake Paul. Jake Paul's so much bigger now. He's not responding to you.
Oh, yeah. You're not even that big.
He's not.
You're a hockey player, man. We all know who we are.
Netflix. It was so big it shut down Netflix.
He's fighting Tyson. There's people are saying he's going to fight Clint Eastwood next, and a couple of chirps
making jokes.
On. Yeah.
But I would like to see.
I hated seeing that whole thing.
Yeah, I'll get into that too.
Awful.
For the sake of Jake Paul, I would like to see him maybe take on a fighter who's in his prime, who's in shape, and who fights.
Couple guys curious.
Well, they have, but I'm not even chirping Jake Paul. I don't really know how good of a fighter he is because we haven't seen him in that situation. But
he's knocked some guys out.
I think he could probably handle himself.
Yeah, he'll be all right. A couple big boys called him out. Don't know their names. I'm not really into boxing that much, but they did. And Jake Paul responded with a rebuttal of, "Wow, I got some. You guys thought I was just some fucking sideshow. Now I got real champions calling me out, wanting to fight me. Yep, I made my point or whatever that was."
You want to know why they're calling him out?
because they're going to make money.
Yeah, it's a payday.
But they all make money anyway.
Not to that level.
Those boxers still make a ton of money.
Dude,
if you're good, they make a ton of money. They do.
He just made $40 million, and Tyson made $20 million.
I know.
They're not making that much money.
You got a different crowd of people looking at you now. When you fight him, like all the fucking big boys, not just like boxing fans, it's like celebrities and stuff. Like you're in the spotlight more. Mm-hmm. You might as well do that.
And the fight was so popular, and Netflix crashed because Mike Tyson was fighting.
And who was
not because Jake Paul was fighting. It was because Mike Tyson was fighting. And the combination of the two, kids love Jake Paul. All the young kids were going for Jake Paul. All the older people
were
pretty much hoping that Mike Tyson would find a way.
I didn't know anybody
that
went
for
seeing
Jake. Somebody that old, kind of stumbling around.
Yeah.
It just felt like, why is he doing it? I mean, I understand the money and everything, but it just wasn't safe. It got to a point where it didn't look like a safe situation.
Nah, and Jake was cool about it. Like he could have tried to really.
You think he really?
I think he played
back?
it cool. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I do.
You do.
Mm-hmm. Dude, he's 60 years old.
You think he could have knocked him out?
Yeah.
Did Tyson get an extra $5 million for getting past the fourth round?
Don't know. Yeah, probably. He got every bonus he wanted. It looked okay. It looked good enough to where they're gonna watch Jake again with somebody, I would say. But I figured that was gonna be the case. Like I wasn't interested in when they called it back in the day. Then they kind of postponed it, and I'm like, whatever.
Jake and Logan, the best marketers.
They're good marketers. You damn right.
Ever, according to Dave Portnoy.
And they're not like woke fucks either. Like they're cool, I guess. They're kind of nerdy. I think Jake's cooler than Logan. I don't know really. I don't really pay attention to their podcast. I think Logan's kind of nerdy, maybe.
Is he?
Jake's kind of cool. But Logan's an unbelievable athlete too, man. He's doing backflips in WWE. He's doing this. He's like a heel. They are smart guys, man. They've been doing this. They were kind of like nerdy, like Justin Bieber, like doing their thing and like YouTube earlier, and then they got tough, and they're like, "Well, I'm going through puberty."
Is that what they were originally?
So. I think
like
so.
They weren't like they weren't the tough.
No, they're like kind of like handsome, like
Well, it's pretty extraordinary that they could turn
themselves give them respect.
into becoming a fighter at that level. Where he doesn't lose. He's got everything to lose in these fights, man.
He did lose.
He could really get embarrassed.
He did lose.
Who beat him?
Fucking
Fury.
Fury did.
Yeah, Fury did.
Who was ranked like whatever.
Who's a real fighter,
and he picked him
right?
apart pretty good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't want to go down that path anymore. Who knows? Conor McGregor might fight him. Like, oh God. How about you do MMA? Listen, if Jake Paul starts doing MMA, now I'm reinterested. The boxing stuff, I'm not into it. It's boring. I know exactly what he's going to do. He's stand back pick. He's tall. He's going to go get, he picks and chooses. It's all good. He's a smart guy. But if he starts dipping into MMA, now I'm like, oh, God dang. I'm like, what's up then? Now you're rolling around. Is your arm out? You might get your arm ripped off. You might get choked out. And like this, and they might, you could tap and they might hold you so tight because you've been chirping so many people that some MMA guy might get you in such a hole, Andy.
And kill you?
They knock you out, so you're out. Right when you tap, they're still going to get you on that.
Oh, my God.
All right, so now we're talking business. Let's go.
I had Tyson in the first 2 rounds, 10-9, 10-9.
Whatever.
No, I did.
No, you don't even know what you're doing.
And then I had Logan in rounds 3, 4, and 5, 10-9, 10-9, 10-9.
It was a weak
fight. And then 6, 7, and 8. 6 and 7, I had Logan.
Nobody cares.
10-9, and then I had it.
You're confusing. You're confusing the people.
9-9.
Don't even have to say that
because no one really did anything.
It doesn't matter.
Round. I'll give a shout
Netflix
to Antonio Brown, baby.
He is so goddamn funny. That's my boy right here. Can we get him on?
I will probably.
Andy,
I bet you.
Can we get him on, please? AB, it's crashing. I'm like, what's AB doing? He's filming that. I'm like, I'll watch that. Just doing this thing.
He
is so goddamn
network funny. CTE ESPN.
So funny, dude.
You shouldn't laugh at CTE.
No, we all got it.
CTE ESPN.
We all got it.
That was his network. And they're like, fuck Netflix. The only place you can watch the Tyson fight. It's like from his suite. How'd they do that? It was great video, too.
He just was looking at the Jumbotron.
No.
Screened in, yeah.
That's how they did it, through the Jumbotron?
Probably. You can't see through the thing. You might as well put it on a big old Jumbotron.
Well, how could Netflix allow that to happen?
Because they're stupid.
My Netflix didn't work at all.
How can they crash out? How can you let that happen?
That's what I mean.
That's what you need to worry about.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
The CEO came on. She goes, I thought we did pretty good.
Who was it?
I forgot her name.
Who?
The CEO of Netflix or COO or whatever. Damage control.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
But she came out and there's a quote on her and she said something like, it was pretty dang good for what it was. Oh.
For what it was.
For being bad. She just like double.
My buffering wouldn't get past 25%.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
And then it started to get to 76%. And then when the fight ended, it like came in.
Yeah.
But then it would like start buffering every like 30 seconds. So it never really worked. But I still had AB's Twitter account going. He and his boys is doing their thing.
Yeah, but the UFC fight was a lot cooler the next night with John Jones and those guys.
Well, I think you feel like it was cooler because
the whole Trump thing, all those guys was hilarious. It's hilarious. You know what I mean?
Do Trump and Kid Rock know each other?
Oh God, yeah.
Because when Trump walked up there,
Kid Rock knows all the hockey guys too. Just so you know,
from like
he's friends with all the hockey,
the old school Red Wings from like the 90s.
So he loves it. He came to the Winter Classic in St. Louis and did a show for all the guys.
So
you know,
let me did Chelios play in the? He and Chelios are super tight, but
they're all tight.
So years ago during the 2004 World Cup, I was covering Team USA's training camp, and it was in Columbus, dude. 10 days in Columbus. And I knew like half the team, dude, because they all had Blues connections. It was like Holly, Big Walt, Dougie Waite, Scott Young.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'd be at the bar, same bar at night, dude. They'd buy all the drinks. They would just do their thing.
Have to stay by them.
They would just do their thing. But I wasn't like, whatever.
It's all good.
But they were cool as shit, dude. Didn't pay for a drink. One night, Billy Guerin, dude, it was fucking hilarious crew with Mike Modano and all those guys. One night they like disappeared. They weren't there, and they all went and booked a PJ, and they went and saw Kid Rock in Detroit. No one knew.
Yeah,
and then
somebody talked about that.
And then they came back the next morning and went straight to the rink and all got in the hot tubs and did all that type of stuff.
We had somebody on that said that.
They did not take that World Cup very seriously.
Kid Rock's like, get up here.
Holly's getting like scratched and stuff during the World Cup. Ron Wilson, he's the coach.
Hardcore. Yep. We've had a lot of people talk about that.
Ron Wilson doesn't seem, even a guy like Matt Station, who we just had on, he didn't have like great things to say about Ron Wilson either.
No, not too many people do.
I've had Ron Wilson on my radio show several years ago, and it was a great interview. And it was more for like Team USA going, I think he was coaching like a World Junior team or something. Yeah. And we had him on prior to the tournament. It was a fun interview. But I remember even when like Alexander Steen and Carlo Koliakovo were traded here.
Carlo!
They needed to get away from Toronto, and I think Ron Wilson was a big part of that.
I think a lot of them said that when we had him on.
Oh, yeah.
Have we had Ron on?
No. He doesn't want to come on.
Okay.
Like, doesn't do podcasts, I don't think.
All right. I mean,
talk to Ron, dude.
Ron, let's go here, homeboy. A lot of people talk about you. You might as well either defend yourself or straighten out some fucking stories, just like everybody else does. If I was talked about as much as you, I would want to be like, no, wait a minute here. This happened here. This was because of that. Yeah, I fucked that up, but this happened here. You know?
It wasn't that. It's
not
even that bad. You coached for a long time. You took a team to the Stanley Cup final, I think.
No, you were great, but people
did he take
have opinions
Anaheim
on you.
To a Stanley Cup final?
Andy,
did he?
I don't know. Was that when Paul?
Because it was
in
Carlisle,
2003.
2003. Would that have been Babcock?
That was Babcock. With Otzi when Paul Curry got knocked out by Stevens.
Yeah, that was Babcock for sure. Was
Devils
there another Stanley Cup final for Anaheim before 2007?
I remember. So,
come on,
I got enough going on this morning. You know.
I'm sorry about Boo Boo, dude. I do want to say that.
Can I give everybody a shout out? I really appreciate you guys reaching out to me. Like, honestly. And I know it's kind of goofy. A cat. Like, get over it, Cam. I get all that. And I'm not an attention whore on social media at all. But I had to put a little thing together about that little kitty who I love and miss so goddamn
Why
much.
are all your pictures 20 years old?
Because that's how old she is.
Now, where's the recent pictures?
There's some with the dogs and stuff like that.
I need some recent ones.
Yeah, but I just want to show people how young I looked and how young we both were when I got her.
You had hair back then.
Oh, I was doing my thing.
Blonde hair.
I was doing my thing.
What were you doing?
I was 23, 4 years old. What do you mean?
And you had the cat back
playing for the Blues. I was living next to my parents.
And you had the cat back
I had no bills, making good money.
Listen, I've never really met a cat person before, so it's really...
No,
this is a new experience for all of us.
I just want to thank all y'all out there for... It made me honestly feel good. It really did. And I do see her, like, I feel like I see her still, like her little, because I'm used to her every morning and stuff like that. So we just have to do a couple things at the house. I should have, listen, I'm going to be honest. I should have had this done a year ago.
Oh.
But I was selfish. She was probably not doing good. She's starting to shit all over the fucking house. She's pissing in the basement. Our basement is basically ruined. They have a beautiful house. No one even walked in that house before I moved into it. It was an old lady. No one even was in the basement. That boo-boo fucked the basement up so bad. So we're going to have to tear out everything. But I was selfish. It's okay now, but I was selfish. I should have had it done a year ago.
What do you mean it's okay now? Did you clean the basement out already?
We're going to have to rip it all up. It's going to cost money. We just got things we got to do. Yeah. You know?
Okay.
We're going to have to do it anyway. But like sometimes, my point of this whole thing is like sometimes like you want, if they're not doing it, you might have to just you gotta make a tough decision. I'm sorry. You gotta make a tough decision.
Sometimes it's in the best interest of the animal.
Or I mean, like okay, like it financially, like we're gonna have to rip up that whole fucking basement, and I could have avoided that.
What could she have done? Dude?
She pissed everywhere. What do you mean? She's fucking discombobulated. We can only put little potty pads down. So fucking potty pads everywhere. I kept her alive because I loved her so much. And I had a little, but she fucking started tearing the house up, peeing everywhere. She couldn't even walk downstairs. It's my fault. I fucked the house up. And it's okay. We're going to deal with it. We're good. You know?
Chirped Kurt Herbstreit for Ben.
That was a little too much.
No. And now you understand.
You're right. No, I didn't chirp him bad. I just said there's a lot going on with that.
There's a lot going on.
I just posted one little thing about Boo Boo. That's it. One little post. You know?
Yeah. So listen,
it's all good.
We're all thinking about you.
It's all good.
And certainly Kate.
Yeah, that big of a deal. Listen, my dad's not doing good. Okay. Like I got to worry about that motherfucker today. We already had a goddamn thing this morning that we had to deal with.
Cam
left
him stranded at the house.
No. Like he had a thing, and he just doesn't want to bother people. We're like,
tell him what I told you to do.
It's just Andy's like, give him an Uber. Like, no, I need family there to listen to the doctor to what they have to say. I can't just Uber them out from Eureka. I need people there because he's in anesthesia. Oh God, the whole thing.
I told you to get a car service.
The reason why I say this though is because we're real on here. Like shit's going down with everybody. I know all you guys out there, man. There's shit like somebody in your family that's going through. We all can relate to this. We all can relate to this. All this stuff. That's why we talk about it. You know.
Hell yeah.
But goddamn though.
Okay. So I had never really just to like help me.
What?
Compartmentalize.
What is it?
I never really met too many of you. The cat people who are really attached to a cat. I've never
my whole life.
really experienced a lot of that. So explain to me how...
They are different than dogs. I'll explain it.
You're a dog person too.
I'm goddamn right. And if I had a ton of money, I'd have all kinds of shit.
How many cats would you have?
Couple.
Really?
Yeah. Probably 2 at a time.
I feel like cats...
Since I was a kid, I loved them.
They pee all over the house anyway.
No, they don't. They only do that when they get sick, when they get older. They only do... the cats are the most disciplined, trained fucking animals going. Yes, they are.
Did they?
And they're independent. And you could leave them for a couple days and they could take care of themselves.
Oh my God.
Yes, you can. Cats are independent. They really are. I had never had outdoor cats. I didn't like outdoor cats.
How did Kate
I like indoor kitty cats.
handle the cat when you were out of town the whole time?
She just chilled.
Okay.
She knows the cat. No, she had to deal with it.
Okay.
It sucked. And she wasn't like, you got to take her down. No. Like,
how'd you decide? I was with you the night before, and all of a sudden the next day you're like,
because enough's enough. And I'm looking at the poor thing and has an infection growing over her fucking face.
Oh my God.
She looked like Pet Cemetery cat. I told all y'all that. I waited too long, and I'm admitting it right now. So all you pet owners like that, you have to fucking just put your foot down like a man and get it done.
Did you ever get attacked by the cat? Did the cat ever attack you?
My baby. I'd have her little head right here, right now. If she was sitting right here, like
in your shirt,
underneath my shirt, just like this, with the paws out like this. I could just hold her like that.
Really?
Get on with yourself.
Well, I've seen a lot of kittens.
Get
and
on
cats
with yourself. She followed me everywhere I went. Even when I went to the bathroom in the morning, she'd be right there. When I'm like looking at my phone, she's right there. Every single morning.
Haven't you seen those videos? A lot of cats attack people. And
out of here. Cares.
We once had a cat and gave it away. I think the neighbors actually raised the cat.
cats are weird. Like some are weird. If you get a good one, you get a good one.
You know who Oliver North is?
Yeah, I do.
Remember from back in the day?
Yeah, 5-star
I think
general.
my sister named the cat after. She called it Oliver after
5-star general. Shit kicker. You goddamn right.
So
no, he fucked up too. He had some weird things, just like a lot of them. You know, don't know exactly what it is.
Like
I'd have to look it up.
Controversy. It ended in controversy.
Probably. Once you get into politics afterwards too, like it just scandal. I think he was hooking up with some chick. Whatever. It's all good.
It was scandalous.
4 or 5-star general. I still respect you. Unless you get too crazy when you retire in the media circuit, you know, where you're like, just like don't have anybody own you, you know.
So Trump is naming a lot of different people.
A lot of stuff. Everybody's like,
would you
crazy.
Ever
it's going to shake up everything.
Would you want to be the press secretary?
Hell no.
Like Jean-Marie. She does a great job.
Really? She's probably one of the worst.
Is she?
As a liberal thinking, Andy doesn't even know. But Jen Psaki at the time was good. She's a little crazy now. She's talking about this and whatever. But at the time, Jen Psaki was actually pretty dang good. She was pretty dang good. Trump's was really good too. Dana Perino was good with George Bush. Dana Perino was pretty dang good.
How much?
She was terrible.
How much?
A lot, and they should.
I think
that's the most hardcore
like
thing.
180 grand or something.
Okay, they're all doing okay. They're going to be all okay. They're all going to get hired to CNN, to whatever, do their own podcast. People are going to watch them. They've been through so many different things. Write books. They have so much leverage.
I got to ask you some questions about this position.
It's the most hardcore position.
Jean-Pierre.
Murray, whatever.
Jean-Marie
Pierre.
Yeah.
She kind of sucked, to be honest with you.
Okay, so she's been doing it forever. A lot of times
Forever?
She's been doing it for a couple of years.
Well, yeah. So you can only do it for so long.
Yeah, they change them up all the time.
Well, yeah, because your president's changed too.
Yeah, but no, even during a presidency.
Yeah, because people are done with it. Like Huckabee was on there too. She's actually a badass bitch.
That was crazy too. And she was.
It's all going to change, dude.
Okay, so
everything's changing.
So who helps them understand how to answer all these questions?
They have a team
and preps them for what these questions are going to be. They have a team.
But you look at a picture of their team. It's all a bunch of fucking college kids. Like, this is what you need to. Like, everybody has a different kind of team. It's a very, very difficult position for sure. You're put on the spot, but I don't think she handled it great. I think in past presidencies, like Obama and whatnot, I thought they were pretty good. You know, they're bullshit you. They got to bullshit a lot. But the ones that don't as much, like, you could pick those guys out. And the ones that do, you're like, no, you're not playing me. And again, the election kind of determined that too. She was wrong on a lot of stuff.
Do you know who Peter Ducey is?
But you know what? You're god dang right.
How do you think he
is a stone cold killer?
You think it's disrespectful when they?
No, you guys are in the spotlight. No, we need to ask every single question possible. And you know what? Trump's girl's going to get freaking rocked too. She's going to have to answer every single one. You can't just fucking push people off.
Because Trump didn't like that one CNN correspondent.
Oh, he didn't like a lot of them.
And he called him out. He was hardcore.
Really hardcore. Yeah.
What's his name again? I'm forgetting.
Peter. No. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's got glasses. Got nice hair, gray hair. I know exactly. There's a million of them. I can't think of names right now. I'm always bad with names, but we all know what we're talking about.
Peter Ducey is the White House
pretty good. And his daddy was on Fox and Friends for a while.
Oh,
he's
really?
Okay, Steve. But I like Peter, man. He's hardcore. Like, ask them crazy. No, you have to answer that. And Trump's going to have to go through all that too. But Trump does answer questions.
To answer, like, when he asked, like, if it was awkward when Biden.
Biden's sharp as a tack. Oh, really? You told us Biden's sharp as a tack? He's a goddamn freaking zombie. Everybody sees that you're lying to us every single day. That's why it's difficult. You have to play the game sometimes. But she did it in a way where she just thinks everybody's stupid. We're like, what? Now Trump's girl could do the same thing. Mm-hmm. We shall see. With every single pick in the cabinet, every single one, we shall see. You know, there's going to be a couple that fuck up. There's going to be a couple that piss him off. There's
He's picking some former, like, journalists and stuff, isn't he?
He's picking all kinds of people. All kinds of people. You know, I'm excited to see a couple things go down, though. Vivek and Elon, let's go.
What do you mean?
Let's just go.
I already called that.
Let's just, what they're doing? Yeah, they're
going
to be digging into a lot of things.
No, I feel like they're going to run. I don't know if Elon will ever run.
Let's see what they do first. Listen,
Trump only gets one more term, right?
These guys are all trying out for Trump, too.
He only gets one more term.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So These guys have to show themselves off too. Now they're on the spotlight. Vivek, yeah, he built himself up, blah, blah, blah. Now you're all starting, even Elon. Elon is very powerful, but if he wants to be in the game and he's going to be proven, he wants all his businesses to actually work, he's going to show off what he's going to do for Donald Trump too, and what he's going to do with this whatever it is, that they're going to get in and they're going to see all this wasted money. See what you could do on that. Prove us all right. You prove us all right.
You better hope that relationship stays on track and everything. And
it could not. Like this happens too. You have a lot of people going.
It could get ugly.
You have a lot of people like talking to you too, like, hey, but like there's a lot of shady things going on. So shall see. And we're gonna be critical of everybody too.
Yeah.
If they go down a spiral path, we're gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing?
When Elon is saying, Trump, you got to do X, Y, and Z, and he's not listening to you.
Trump's not listen. Trump listens. Listen, he'll listen to everybody,
I know.
And he'll bring. But he's in charge. He's the big dick.
But you hear what I'm
biggest,
saying?
Over Elon, over anybody. Just so you know.
These guys aren't used to being told no. You know what I'm saying?
But they know him. They know he ain't fucking around with that. He's in charge. And everybody, if you know Trump, like you think he's going to cater to somebody? No. And sometimes that's bad, and sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's whatever. But that's what he is.
I haven't gotten to that part of my political preparation yet to remember.
It's all good.
Mike McCarthy.
It's all good. There's a lot going on, man. I can't even keep track.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, dude.
Yes.
You're going to ask me about everything. I don't know. But let's just see what happens. It's going to be a complete change of mindset to everything from the ground up. It's going to be a complete different change. And if it goes bad, then it sort itself out and fucking vote and then go a different way. But let's just see. You know.
Well,
good, baby. We love all y'all.
I hope everything is okay now with you and Kate and Boo Boo and everything, with dealing with all that. I'd never met a cat person before,
other cat.
So it was very interesting to see how you were affected by that.
It's just I love
and we were thinking all about. We were all thinking of you, man.
You guys text me so much. It's all good. We don't need to talk about it anymore.
I do want to tell you a little surprise. I'm going to rename the studio the Boo Boo Studios, so we're live in the Boo Boo Studios. Okay.
Is that cool for Half Coast?
Presented by Half Coast.
I like that.
So we're in the Boo Boo Studios.
She
at Half Coast.
You keep bringing this up. I'll dig deep. There's a point in time where I was fucking fucked up. I didn't have a girlfriend, although, my friends are all fucked up. They're cool, but they didn't understand. And that little kitty really helped me through dark fucking times.
Like, what would it do?
I swear to God. I swear to God.
Can you give me an example? Would you talk to it?
She just put a smile on my face.
Okay, all right.
At a time where I couldn't call anybody, I couldn't do anything. I was so out of my fucking mind.
I got you.
Just telling you.
Yeah.
All good. I don't be like down and out. It's all good,
Never met a cat person, really. Before.
Well, we've been hanging for a long time. I've been talking about her for a long time.
I know.
And animals in general.
If
I had a lot of money.
So my promise to get you a new cat is still in play. It's still on the table.
Don't overdo that.
And I'm still.
We already talked about that.
No, I'm getting you one for
It's
Christmas. For
unacceptable. We've already talked about that, and even people chimed in about that too. Like you don't.
Kate knows.
You don't. No, she doesn't.
No.
Okay, and she's the one that wants to wait a little bit more longer than I do. We got things to do. We got to rip up our fucking basement. Like really do. It's all good.
Yeah.
Do
the dogs destroy the house too?
Not anymore.
Do they go in the basement?
Not now. They do.
They didn't before?
No.
Why? You only kept the cat down there?
I had 2 different litter boxes down there. She kept peeing in different areas, and we just kept like blocking it out.
Did the cat not come upstairs?
Yeah. Every morning I go get her, take her right up, sit down with me. Boom. I have my coffee. Watch when I need to watch. Look up some stuff. Do my push-ups. She's right there. Boom. Licking my face, like petting her. I put her under my shirt. She goes right there because she's cold in the wintertime.
Damn.
Ain't that big of a deal, man. People are going through other shit. Like I don't want to. Like Andy keeps talking to me about this. Like it's some like crazy ordeal that a guy likes his kitty cat.
No,
you do.
No, I don't think it's crazy. Do. I just hadn't met one.
It's not that crazy.
Like I'm not around too many cat people, and I'm trying to understand.
Well, some are odd too. The girl's got fucking 9 cats. You're like, what you fun to do?
I can see Seth having lots of cats.
Cat bones.
That's why you don't go to a hockey shop.
Cat
Your
bones.
skate sharpened. because Seth is probably working there.
Yeah.
Those are the type of people that work at those shops. So get a Sparks, sparkshockey.com. Use the promo code Cameron Strick. You'll save more money than Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Can I give a shout out?
Yeah.
David Prawn, back in line.
Hell yeah, man.
My boy right there. What's up, baby? Roommate, love you.
Yeah. He had an assist that was taken away. I didn't agree with that play.
I didn't like that either, Andy.
It was Stützle going to the net, and he kind of like knocked the defenseman's stick out of his hand, who was tracking back and trying to disrupt the play and the puck from getting to Stützle. So Stützle just kind of turns around, gives him a little bit of a whack. And we see players do this all the time, whether you're skating through the middle of the ice and there's a pass that's going to be going through, and you may see a player lift a stick or knock a stick out of the way just to kind of create more space for the puck to get through that area of the ice. I don't know. I mean, in that situation, that's kind of on the player, too, to hold on to your stick. Like, how does the stick fall out of your hands? You could easily knock it out of the hands. I get it. Should that be an automatic penalty? It led to a goal, and it prevented the defenseman from being able to defend properly. So I could see it both ways, but I don't know if I would have called that a penalty.
Well, there's a couple of goal interference calls, too, that people are bitching about. I don't know.
You just got to know the rule. If you know the rule, you're not going to get all worked up about it.
But the one was like, I forgot who it was, but they barely touched.
Are they in the paint?
No, not really.
Yes or no?
No, they just bumped the goalie that was in the paint.
Oh.
I wish I had a better clearing,
Which one are you talking
There's
about?
A couple. The people are.
Can you be specific?
I can't do it. My bad. Just fuck off. My bad. I should have had that down. Like, I'm trying here. There was one, and I saw the replay 15 times. I'm like, dang.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care that much. Like, I'm not like, don't bump into the fucking goalie. I get all that.
Mm-hmm.
But this was like, ooh.
I never know what it's going to be anyway. Sometimes they go to the referees during the broadcast, and they're like, what do you think? And like, they have no idea, dude, because the rule can go either way. You can't even guess. They don't want to put themselves on the line, so they just start telling you what the rule is. And it's like, well, we know what the rule is. I get it, but like, what's your take? You got to have a take, man.
Please help us.
When you are brought on for that situation, like if you watch a football game and they go to like Gene Stechator or something, like the guy who like officiated a ton of Super Bowls, and he's just like, this is not going to be a catch, or this is going to be a catch, and this is a great call, and here's why.
Yep.
The hockey is like, oh, here's the rule, and according, you can't do this. You can't. Okay, we get that, but are they going to call this a goal or not? Give us your take on it. You got to have strong takes.
Well, they're paying you
to have a take. Don't wait for them to make the announcement.
Just tell us.
Just tell us.
And if you're wrong, like this,
who cares?
Who cares? I'll respect you more.
Who's our boy that was on before?
Donnie boy.
Donnie Koharski.
That's our boy right there. And Jamie.
He was like always. He would just like throw shit against the wall. He was just. But he was like kind of entertaining. But I'd rather you got to have a take. They can't go to you and like disrupt the flow of the game, and then you're just like telling us, we know what the rule is. If you want to remind us of what the rule is, that's fine. But then you have to follow it up with a take.
I agree. How about
and I don't mind a color commentator giving a take.
So what? Throw it out there, man.
It's okay.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Wrong.
Like you're getting, like if you're wrong, who cares? Like I thought it was going to be this. My bad.
Yeah.
But just let us know.
But if you're wrong because you don't know the rule, then that would not be good.
Well, you
got to know the rules.
You can't bump into them,
right?
In the crease,
right? And you can't even like go in the crease.
No,
it's like the Brett Hall
sometimes
rule.
They don't, but they're kind of leaning in.
There's
gray area everywhere. That's why it's
the Blues had a couple of those. Matthew Joseph was in the crease.
Yeah.
He didn't really like interfere with the ability, in my opinion, for the goaltender to make the save, but he was in the crease.
You know who's good for Carolina? Good.
Marty Necas.
Jesus,
that guy's unbelievable. He's 25 years old.
Do I watch him that much? No. I'm not going to lie to you. But I saw him the other night. I'm like, he's completely dominating this game.
Dude, he had 4 points.
What?
He's got points in like 13
no one even talks about him.
Straight games.
I'm sorry.
Do you know he's had a point in every game this season except for like 2?
He's dang good.
And he's 25. They drafted him 12th overall, so like they knew he was going to be damn good. But he is.
He is something.
He had 70 points a couple years ago. And he has scored close to 30 in the past.
A quiet 70. Like, no one really brings him up. Not to chirp, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I feel like he will, maybe this is the year he careers it and gets to 90 points.
He looked pretty good the other night against the Blues. A little shout out. God dang,
But
boy.
points in like 13 straight. That's a good streak.
Can I give another shout out?
Yeah.
Who? Who is it, Andy?
Well, it's Ovi probably.
Yeah, damn. Is that too obvious?
Well, no.
No, I mean, he's dominating.
I'll give it to Ovi too.
God dang. And he saved the goal, too. He skated down back check like, save the goal.
I love the way he's playing, man. It's so funny.
He is the coolest cat going.
He is.
I'm telling you. I told you.
Mm-hmm. Would you rather have his career or Crosby's career?
What do you mean by that, though? Like,
would you rather be the all-time leading goal scorer ever?
What personality? What personality would I rather have if I could switch?
That's not the question.
No, with everything.
That's too obvious.
No, the personality and the charisma and the goals and you got a Stanley Cup. I would be Ovi. Although I can't say it's hard to like be that black and white with it because Crosby's so cool, man. I respect the shit out of him. He's so like classy. Like I love the way he
just
played.
said career. Would you rather have the guy that won 3 cups,
or be the scorer,
or the all-time and who's got like whatever?
Because they're both
600 goals and 1,600 points, whatever.
I'd like to be able to score, I guess,
or be the all-time leading goal scorer.
That's a good question. I love them both, but Ovi, probably Ovi.
Where are you gonna rank Ovi when it's all said?
God damn, the way he's everything about him. Everything about him, knocking guys out too. Jesus, Svechnikov. Oh, God. Like, just to be able to do that and then run guys over, including, like, Yager, winning things. You're notorious for your slap shot. You don't care about your body. Like, you don't care about your body.
Well, that's the thing
about him. You're crazy. I love everything about you. Seriously.
Because Ovi plays, like, every game.
I
know he had an injury last year.
Unbelievable.
But as hard as he plays...
He's the coolest thing
Crosby
going,
plays hard too, though.
Yeah, he does, man.
You know what I mean?
So hard.
And that's
why I love them both. I do.
Crosby's put together 82 game seasons the last 2 years,
and McDavid too with 1,000 points.
Yeah, so Crosby has 1,600 points, and
I mean
he's at 599.
We are lucky.
Right now. This
is our generation, Andy.
Yes.
We love we have different generation, but right now, like to be able to grow up and watch Ovi, McDavid, and Crosby, like that's no wonder you got into it.
Crosby's numbers,
come on,
are unbelievable.
They are,
and he'll end up with like 1,800 points, something like that. Now everyone's talking about Crosby getting traded now. Like just for the record, like we said this before last trade deadline. Remember we were like they should just trade him.
Yeah.
Like we want to see Crosby in the playoffs. Like I understand like his loyalty and allegiance to Pittsburgh, although you did say at the time that he doesn't know Pittsburgh anything. He's given them plenty. He's given them enough.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like, dude, like that he signs, and we said at the time that, word is there's an extension sitting in the drawer that will get done if it's not completely done already. So I don't think anybody was surprised to see him not get traded and then to see him re-sign with Pittsburgh in the offseason. And if he is going to get traded, it's going to take him walking into Kyle Dubas's office or his agent, Pat Brisson, and they're going to have to say, hey, listen, we want to get traded. And then now you decide what you want to do. If you ever want to rebuild this thing the right way through a trade, he's the guy to move. You're not getting the same for obviously Malkin or Letang. You get a lot for Malkin.
What do you give up?
But you wouldn't get the same that you would get for Crosby because you got to pay a premium if you're a team just based on the amount of money he's going to generate for your organization. It's not just the hockey. For me, you got to give some type of compensation for the millions and millions and millions of dollars he's going to put in your owner's pocket. So, dude, I don't know what that looks like. And everyone says Colorado, and I know the obvious is because Nathan McKinnon's there, but there's other teams that I wouldn't mind see him go to either.
And Landeskog, too. Like, how are they on the cap, Colorado?
Landeskog, I just don't.
I heard he had a setback.
Yeah, and he has.
What does that mean?
From what I understand, he has the similar situation that Ben Bishop had, that ended Ben Bishop's career.
Oh, God.
And I don't think many, if any, ever have come back and played from his injury. So that sucks because I've always liked Gabriel Landeskog, although he should be happy that he signed that big 8-year contract extension because he's going to get paid for a long time and certainly deserving of the money.
So they got the coin to be able to get a Crosby.
Brought that team a Stanley Cup. But is that the obvious place? And I know Colorado's playing better now, and they've won some games in a row, and they had a 3-game winning streak at one point. So I think it's still – I don't think they've lost. I think they've won 3 straight, something like that. So they're playing good hockey. McKinnon's leading the league in scoring. Is that the automatic for Sidney Crosby to go to? Like, where would you want to see him play?
I'd like to see him play there.
Okay.
I don't know who started that rumor. Maybe it was Biz.
Well, I think a lot of people have always said that about.
Well, like brought it back to attention.
No,
I guess.
because of McKinnon and Crosby.
God,
right?
yeah, and they have the room. If they have the room for it,
I gotta look to see how all of that would play out.
Well, who would they give up? Like, what do they got in their? What do they have in their farm system?
I don't
Andy?
know what they have.
What do you have in your farm system that you're gonna have to give
That's
up?
exactly it too. And your first round picks are going to be close to being second round picks. They're not top 10 picks.
No. What do you got? What do you give them for?
Like if I'm trading Crosby and I get a first round pick, do you want like the 27th overall pick?
No.
No. I want like the top 5.
Well, he's also got to let you know where he wants to go too.
And he's not going to go to a bad team, obviously.
So
I wouldn't mind to see him.
Where do you think he would want to go?
I don't know. Toronto? Would he want to go to Toronto?
The center situation? Okay. Yeah. Toronto, Dallas, Colorado, New York, New Jersey,
Florida.
Do they have room? What do
None
you
of
do?
these teams probably have room. Everyone spends to the cap.
Florida.
So I don't know how anybody's making this happen.
Winnipeg.
Oh my God.
Canucks.
The Canucks have issues. They've got some issues right now.
Vegas.
Vegas would just find a way to get him.
That's what I mean. Like Vegas,
he would
imagine
end
that.
up in Vegas.
I kind of want this now.
I know.
Let's go. Let's
Trade
go.
him.
What are we doing? Trade
we
him.
don't need Sidney
Trade him.
Crosby like at home when the playoffs
In
come
April,
around.
when my birthday's around. Like, no. We want to watch him.
That's right.
It's good for hockey too. You need to load up. He's still
And
like,
if I'm Kyle
you're gonna get a ton
Dubas,
for him.
I'm like, and you want to be the GM there long term and you want to have success, this may be the best way to do it.
You got to do some things.
You're going to have to move some guys.
You got to do some things. And it might ruffle some feathers, but
trading Erik Karlsson because his cash moving forward is not great. Or it's not that high in comparison to his cap hit. But that's not going to rebuild your organization. It helped San Jose, though.
It's only Crosby, man.
It helped San Jose.
Yeah.
When San Jose moved on from him, even though they had to eat some money.
What would you have to give up for Crosby?
I don't know. You'd have to. I mean, you got to keep it realistic because of his age, but he's still basically a point per game player, and he's Sidney Crosby, and he's going to put millions and millions and millions of dollars into your organization. So that alone, I don't know how many first round picks.
I don't know, man.
What's the biggest trade? What did Gretzky? That wasn't even the biggest trade. There was so much cash involved in that trade. Look at the biggest trades in NHL history and just add on to it.
We just had somebody on with one of the biggest trades. Who was it? Oh, it was Stajan.
Mm-hmm.
When they won the bigger trades?
Dion Phaneuf was part of that deal. It was a big trade going to Toronto. There's a lot of players involved.
Yeah.
Ian White, Jamal Mayers, I think, all
Scott
went
Stevens.
from Toronto to Calgary. Stevens was like a compensation.
That was the craziest thing going. Was that one of the craziest things going? In St. Louis, everybody's like...
It's like arbitration. Compensation.
They're like, wait, what happened? What just happened here? Our captain's gone?
Could they still do that?
Are you kidding me?
If Edmonton,
they fucked up.
If the arbitrator ruled because, the Blues signed Broberg to an offer sheet and they just gave Edmonton Robert Thomas.
Yeah. But that's not even, close to Stevenson.
No, it's not.
It's like giving him Benner.
They gave him Benner and
Thomas and Cairo.
And Cairo.
Their captain. The most prestigious jersey in all of St. Louis. It's not a Brett Hall. It's not any. It's a Scott Stevens C jersey.
You think that's the most prestigious?
Yep.
How do you define prestigious?
Because I talk to all these cats that do all this stuff with jerseys and stuff, and they want me to buy their jersey back. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I go, what's the best jersey going? If you could find a game used Scott Stevens captain fucking jersey in 99, I can take. That's it.
Yeah. You're talking game used.
Well, just the most prestigious.
I think a Shanahan game used. I think
it's Scott
Adam Oates game
No, because
used.
they've been here long enough. There's still some. It's Scott Stevens. I've talked to all these guys. I just did a fucking signing with these guys too.
Rarest one going.
Rarest going.
Okay.
That's what people want. That's what the collectors want. Where's a Scott Stevens captain jersey?
Because I would say the most prestigious of a game-worn jersey would be like a Gretzky game-worn jersey would be the most.
It's a Scott Stevens captain.
Yeah. No, that team was unbelievable.
Think about that.
Look it up. Look how good they
were
when he was here. They should have won the cup.
Who they lose to in '92?
I don't know. Isn't that the year they traded everyone to Vancouver? Or
was it Chicago they lose?
They traded everyone to Vancouver.
Yeah, it was Chicago because in '92 Chicago played Pittsburgh in the
Stanley Cup final.
Lost.
Got
And they
swept, I
made
think.
Jean-Claude Van Damme movie about it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what it's about?
You didn't see that movie?
What was it called again?
Sudden Death, baby.
Oh.
Dang good.
I didn't know that was
Jean-Claude
about
Van Damme, badass, was in, and his daughter's there, and like, hey, me, we're watching the game. They see Chelios and shit, and Lemieux cruising around, and there's a bomb in there, and he saved the day, Andy. All those guys would have died. JR to whatever, dead.
What'd you think of Reaves' suspension? 5-game suspension.
It's fine.
You know, Tanner Jeannot got 3 with no history. Reaves, I believe this is like his 5th suspension.
And how many months?
But he kind of had a clean slate
For
because
18 months
of the statute of limitations or whatever.
It's fine.
So it didn't really, but they did give him a couple more games because of that, I think, in comparison to the Jeannot situation.
That's fine with me. And I don't even think he meant to do it. Like, Reaves
meant to do what?
Elbow him. Like, he didn't mean to. He didn't chicken wing him. He just clipped him weird.
I think he knew he was going to catch him.
No, but I would have tried to catch him there too. Like, his head was down.
He didn't know he was coming.
You could have caught him a little bit more clean, but I think he kind of held up a little bit. But he didn't lead with his elbow. His shoulder kind of caught him in a weird way. I hate seeing it. I like Darnell Nurse, man. We chirped him last week because he was minus 15, but I like wait, he plays.
Dude, you don't see
He's
too
tough.
many players.
He's so tough.
Who get like fucked up like that.
He got caught bad, but it wasn't as bad as I've seen like other guys do. You know, it just wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
so you
but
give him 5. I'm like,
the
okay.
Scene of the blood and
Horrible.
being knocked out, basically.
Being knocked out sucks. And then Reaver, I heard, went into the locker room.
Dude, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, which he would. Reaver doesn't want to hurt him.
Listen,
like that.
I saw Reaver play.
Reaver's a pretty good guy
in the
with-
minors, and
He's not that much of a bully.
He was scary in terms of him hitting in the American League because he wasn't fighting a lot back then.
Yeah,
but he would absolutely truck guys.
I know.
Hit guys so hard, and in terms of hitters. I'm talking actual hitters in the game today. He's certainly one of the,
I bet you
one
if
of
you
the hardest hitters.
If you add up all Reaves hits over the past 850 games that he played, like he's up there with, you know, the greats.
There's a lot of these
with
guys
Wendell Clark and whatnot.
There's a lot of these guys that pile on the hit totals, and I see it all the time. You just got to look it up. But people are like, oh, he's 3rd in the league in hits. But are they really hits that impact the game? I mean, they just hit. Sometimes that may be one of the easiest things.
Who are you talking about?
Do in the
Racco
game.
Gudis?
No,
you're damn right. It's one of them.
He'll put you downtown.
Chinatown.
Yeah,
and he's done it a couple times this year, which is horrifying. Reaver will put you fucking down.
Sam Bennett will hurt you.
Sam Bennett will hurt you. Brady Kachuk will hurt you.
Matthew will stick his ass out.
Matthew will stick you and get you. Who else? There's some guys that'll hit you, man. Even Dumba will put you down.
Yeah, he will.
He'll catch you. Scary. You know? I'll give you Brooks Orpik back in the day will hurt you. Lukey Shen will hurt you. Scary, man. Like, those guys are scary. That's the scariest guy on the ice. Is that D-man. That, like, you don't know what he's doing. It's like, what? Like, I'm coming down. I'm getting a weird pass from my line mate. And all of a sudden, he steps up and sticks you right in your sternum. You don't even have to go down. And all of a sudden, you're like, disgusting. It sets you back.
Here's the leaders in hits. Kiefer Sherwood.
Oh, yeah?
He tried to hit that Zegras recently.
Zegras pretty good.
And you heard the audio? What he said? You saw it kind of went viral, the video.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
When Zegras spun off of him.
Yeah.
And avoided the hit.
You pussy.
Yes.
Which will give you like 20 games. You better watch that in the OHL.
In the OHL, it may
John
ban
Sims'
you for
son
life.
got suspended again too. What do you
That's
call
my
him?
boy Landon.
He called him a Mennonite, which I bought.
I didn't know what that was.
That is it's like Amish. The Mennonites were in Guelph, and I used to go there all the time and spend money, and I'd buy all their little fruit snacks like yoink, 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 yoink. I spend money on the Mennonites. He called somebody a Mennonite, got 5 games. 5 games? I don't know. It's all good. Blues prospect.
He is. Draft pick. I talked to him about his previous one.
John Sim was tough, dude.
When I did media training with all those guys when they were in town.
Yeah.
And I talked to him a little bit. He's a cool ass kid, man.
Yeah, dude. His daddy's cool.
And I love the fact that he plays hard.
His daddy, they're all from up
we
north.
might have to get John Sim on, dude.
Get him on. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I heard about him since I played against him. Colin White, my boy from up in freaking Nova Scotia. Shit kickers up there. Those guys
Brady
all the
Kachuk's
same.
4th in hits. Shen's 6th. Marcus Foligno, he'll hit.
Hurt you.
He's top 10.
Adam Lowry up there?
Um,
He's probably playing a little too much to get in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
Nathan Walker's top 20.
Is he?
20, he's 21.
Nathan's hitting you, man.
He is.
Like, he gets up and he disrupts. I'll give him a shout out. Like, he's
But
one of the.
Jeremy Lazan is second. Then
He'll hit
Mark Kastelik, third.
Don't know too much about him.
Will Culley.
What?
Cuylle.
Yeah, man. Those guys probably just step up,
Plays
step
for the
up, step up,
Rangers,
step
man.
up. You know, if you're leading the league in hits, like, you're doing something. Like, you're stopping the play. You know.
He's a good player, OHL kid.
So hits are still like a big part of the game. Like, they really are. They truly.
Dude, if you're a hitter.
You're a hitter, my God.
But let me ask you this. Is being a hitter one of the, if you're just asked to go out there and just finish checks, in reality,
Depends on what
I
you're
don't
doing.
mean this in a disrespectful way, but is that one of the easier assignments you can have? Hey, if they just want me to finish checks, run around, finish checks.
No. You're still going to make a play on the wall.
You still got to be able to skate to get there.
You know
I'm
how
not talking
Do you
about
know
that.
how hard it is to, like, even, like, line a guy up?
Mhm.
Like, it's so hard. These guys are so fast.
Timing,
Not to
skating,
mention,
all
you're
that.
throwing your body on the line. I told you, all you guys, this. I got hurt more trying to hit guys than getting hit because it's tough. Like, I got to line them up right. Like, you don't want to take a penalty. I got to get in there quick. I'm risking it. Is it going to be a center ice hit? I got to risk it. If I'm a D-man, I got to step up. Is he going to walk me? Like, there's a lot of risk.
Let me give you an example.
You know?
Watch Ryan Suter. Every time he goes into the corner, where's his stick? It's right here. He checks like this. And I heard some of these veteran defensemen who have hung around for a long time, their advice to younger players all the time is save your shoulders.
I told you. No. Oh, boy just said that. Jason, when we were talking on a podcast.
Was that him that
Yes,
said
I
that?
just
We were
said
just
that.
having that conversation.
Yes. It was a damn good
And
conversation.
we were
You
talking,
guys didn't listen
and we
to it.
brought, well, they'll be on this episode.
Yeah.
And we talked about Ryan Suter, same situation.
Yep. You know, and
So crazy.
I go, then they're going to know they're going to do that, and they're going to start falling, and they're going to draw a penalty. So everything adapts. Like,
But
so
who was he saying? Save your shoulders. And
Save your shoulders.
We talked about Ryan Suter
Yeah.
going into the corner. I said he's always got to stick like this.
Yep.
Tells the younger guys, save your shoulders.
because you get hurt trying to hit guys.
Yeah.
Guys are bracing themselves. It's tough hitting, dude. You're damn right.
Well, if you're like, I mean, like that Noel Achari, for example, doesn't have like the totals, but he gets a little like, he blacks out, runs around and wants to like
Put somebody down.
put somebody down. And those open ice hits, man, those
That's
will
why
be the ones that'll hurt.
Ty needs to learn that too.
Mm-hmm. What's
When-
that?
When
hitting.
he starts hitting,
Yeah.
like, learn to get in there.
Yeah.
You will separate yourself so goddamn fast. He's already skilled. He's already ripping pucks top shelf.
You gotta
Learn
get
how
him
to
hitting.
get your shoulders into guys when you're battling in a corner. They're going to be like, this kid,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
So Reaver, 5 games.
don't bother me. We were like 20. I'm like, all right.
People are, throw the book at him.
God, kill him. No, he didn't even.
Get him out of the game.
Get him out. No, Reaver's actually pretty he is, you know.
JT Miller
Benched. I saw that. Dang D-Dog. That's my boy.
What do you think of these coaches like? And I love Tocchet. Man, listen, Tocchet and Berube as an example, because I'm going to use them as an example here. These coaches that are just, they got their foot on the gas at all times.
They want to win, and they don't give a fuck.
And
They're like,
who
whatever
you
it
are
is.
or whatever.
Lou was like that too.
I know.
Same thing.
So,
you know, whatever
although
it is.
Chief doesn't bench guys a lot, he will sit guys down here and there.
It's not much he could do there, though.
No, I know. But
It depends on the situation.
But Vancouver needed a goal, and they sat their best offensive player.
Well, the Blues did that the other day, too. The Blues did it with Kyrou the other day.
I didn't
For the tie.
I didn't know about that. Like, I thought
You
he was
didn't?
having a good game,
So did I.
and he was actually competing on pucks, and he's one of the
You know what I'm talking about?
only players on the team that can score right now.
So you want to take it in overtime? Like, okay, but like,
That was not a listen. I get it for 60 to 90 seconds, the last minute and a half of the game. You want to put defensive zone matchups out there and whatever.
you want your best player on the ice. And that's, to me, I look at Kyrou. I'm like, there's something more to it.
That was
Sucked, you know.
that was a questionable,
Yeah.
or certainly a decision. I'll say this: a decision that I think got some attention. I didn't love that. 4.5 minutes is not. To come out and say he played great during the game, so you're not benching him for performance. right?
You know, so it's like you don't trust your best player on the ice to win a game.
Against Buffalo.
Exactly. So that just makes it you created attention.
You're not playing.
Why?
You're not looking for guys to go
we need
out
to
and
win.
play against Kucherov and these guys.
We need to win.
You need to win. It's
against Buffalo.
It's Buffalo.
One of the worst organizations in all of sports. Let's go ahead and win. Try to win the game.
That was a weird game. They had a delayed penalty at the end of the game, and
I know
nobody changed to get fresh legs out there to try to pressure the puck and like get a whistle, as opposed to giving Buffalo a full 2-minute power play in overtime.
Yeah, they just held on to it.
Alex Tuch broke his stick in overtime, so now it becomes a 3-on-3. He had to leave the zone, either to get a new stick or to change. And I felt like they could have pressured the puck in that situation, maybe get it clear. It just things kind of fell apart there. But no, Jordan Kyrou, I'll give him credit. This guy, he created a goal. I know they lost to Carolina, but he created a goal and a turnover. Like, he's doing things now that he wasn't doing before. And you got to give him credit, and you have to recognize for that.
Jordan Kyrou is sticking out in these games.
You put Jordan Kyrou on the Rangers or Vancouver or Toronto or Florida, this guy would score 45 goals.
They just set him up like he's good. And he's playing well. Like, he really is. He's always in the mix.
Post. He's a little snake bit right now.
Big time hitting the post.
And he's not scoring goals at the rate that he will later in the year.
He looks good.
And at the rate that you'd like. But he's
the best player on the ice.
He stands out.
He's the best player
every time he's on the ice.
So when you don't play him, I was just curious. It's all good.
You know what I love the most, Cam, is sitting outside by the fire. I had a nice fire last night. I was just very relaxed. I'd like to have you and Kate over one night to sit by the fire.
Dude, I'll do that. It's just a drive. Like,
yeah, it's not that bad.
Like my buddy next door, my neighbor. Like, I just go to his place. He's totally cool.
Well, bring him over with you.
I just got a gas one for my deck.
Get some wood, dude. You gotta get the wood.
I know. I have wood. I have So for me to leave the house, you probably have to bring. What else we doing? We going out to dinner first, and then we go back to your house. I could do that.
Okay.
Oh,
you want to do that?
It's just a commitment. To go all the way out there.
I could maybe make dinner too. Maybe.
I had to do a ALS event Saturday night where I got dunked. Where they,
Why are you wearing a scarf and a ski hat?
Because I was Colorado. I was a Colorado trip. This trip that my buddies
paid for.
What do you mean? My buddies were there. I'll give you a little shout out. What's up, baby? Derek Lindsay. I'll give you a little shout out. Let's go. Spent that money. Let's go. Maybe look good. On the Colorado trip.
So everybody was a different theme?
Hawaii to Cardinals to something, but mine was badass, dude. If you read what went down, this was a really good trip. It's this beautiful house in the middle of Durango, Colorado.
Which is one of my favorite spots in Southwest Colorado, dude. San Juan Mountains, man, it's amazing.
It's this beautiful cabin next to a stream in the mountains. It holds like 15 people. It is beautiful. You have your own escort. It's all stocked with everything. There's hiking trails everywhere.
What did it go for?
Probably $6,000.
Really? That's not a bad.
No shit. You got 10 people in there. There's like 20 rooms. Like, it's huge cabin, beautiful, right next to. It's the most picturesque thing in the world.
So what was the deal?
Like, let's
so for
go.
ALS, and then somebody gets to bid to dunk you.
You dunk me, yeah. And so my buddies were there.
And by doing that, like, if they win the bid, then they get the vacation to Colorado.
Yes.
Somebody would get a Hawaii vacation.
I've done these auctions and stuff, and
what other vacations did they have? Were they all vacations?
Hawaii, Lisbon, and then a Cardinals thing, and then something else. But mine was shit kicking.
Wow. So
Durango
was so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Dude. And
there's bears there, boy. You better watch yourself now.
A dog walker got attacked by a bear like a year ago. It's not common, dude, at all.
No, it's okay. You'll be okay.
They don't have any. It's like these little brown bears, but it did in a very rare occasion for the first time.
There's no little brown bears.
Black
you mean
bears.
Little black bears.
Little black
Thank
bears,
you.
yeah.
Just I gotta correct you.
Yeah. So for the first time in decades,
it's okay.
They had a bear situation.
There's mountain lions,
and a woman who was walking her dog got killed. Actually,
it's okay. Just you go with a big group of people, you'll scare it away. Yeah. It's okay. You got 10 people there.
Oh, you're
good. Partying. You're barbecuing at night. Just take your stuff. Whenever you're done barbecuing, I'd scrape off everything and fucking keep that fire big. But I saw that. I go, hell yeah,
dude.
So I put on a ski mask and and they dumped me. It was all good.
Yeah. I had an event for the police foundation.
You did. I heard you did good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you heard that? You didn't tell me that.
I heard you did good.
You knew people that were there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was supposed to go to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been to it before. Were you? You go down, you do a prayer with all the police officers and stuff like that. Then you go up and you host and you do stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool. They had
It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
They had the bagpipers and
That's what
stuff.
I mean.
It was packed. At the
Badass.
Ritz-Carlton, man, it was nice.
All the hardcore police officers, we love you, baby.
And they raised money
go.
for the police foundation. It's called Breakfast with the Chief.
Yeah.
So they do one for the city police and they do one for the county. This was for the county.
Let's go.
And but they all work together. The police foundation supports both the city and the county.
Yeah.
And people were like donating a lot of money, dude. Like it's
yeah.
not even a
big dogs
auction. You just raise your hand and they're like $10,000.
Well, that's why I do auctioneers now. And I want Andy and I, maybe, if you guys have a big event, then Andy and I will do the auction.
We'll come host
now,
the event. Even if it's not an auction, dude, we'll come host your event.
We'll host your event, and if there is an auction, but you guys just got to deal. You guys, I don't like to deal with all the getting all the jersey signed. Just do that part, and Andy and I will come and entertain the fuck out of you guys, and we'll raise a lot of money, and we'll call people out, and we'll do this in a funny, cool way. I love doing it. People have to have auctions all the time for the schools, for whatever. I just did a little Catholic school. We raised a ton of money. They're like, Cam, we raised so much money, blah, blah, blah. It was lovely. We'll entertain all y'all.
So Cam and I went to a season ticket holder event last week, too. And this one lady, I think she had her baby like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It was, and she gave it to Cam.
Yeah.
Cam's holding like a newborn baby, and then she actually
holding it like a dog or a cat.
Like he thought it was a cat.
Hi. No, you hold the head. I get it. It's all good. You know, but I have had that happen. Like, here you go. And they just give me their kid like, ah. And then 10 years later, they'll take a picture of what it was back then, and they'll do another one. And it's really cute.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to Brody. Today's his birthday.
Brody Campbell. Love you, homeboy. 24 years old.
24. What an age, man.
Oh, my God.
What an age, dude. 24. You know what I was doing at 24?
Oh, what, Andy?
I mean, do you want to know what I was doing at 24?
Probably hardcore things.
Probably. I love 24.
Playing for the Blues, baby.
Seen a lot of. Were you at 24?
Dang right. Living next to my parents in that house. My buddies are over every single night. They're going to every single one of my games. We're partying. We're hanging out with everybody we went to high school with. We're taking all the coaches to the games. That was a lovely year for me. I took care of everybody.
Is that how old you were? 24?
When I got traded here. Yep.
You were young, eh?
Yeah, man. Living it up, doing our thing, going to clubs on Washington Street, going to clubs Washington Street, going to these clubs that got shot up like months later.
Oh, my God.
I'm just telling you. No, I'm just letting you know. A couple fights where I had to like, squeak out, you know, but never got into a jam. You know, we were going out all the time. Going to concerts.
Is that a real fight that Logan Paul or Jake Paul and Mayweather almost got into?
Probably. Just
he like knocked his hat off.
They're probably fuck you.
Could Mayweather fight him?
Yeah, Mayweather would probably fucking pick him apart.
He's like half the size.
Yeah, but he'd pick him apart. That's a tough one, man. You got 30 pounds on him.
I would have to judge that fight.
I don't like boxing when it comes to this stuff.
I had Tyson 10-9, 10-9 in the first 2 rounds. I told you that.
No one cares. But I don't even like to going to MMA, Jake. Do the MMA thing. If you do MMA...
He doesn't know MMA.
He's fucking calling guys out and said he wants to do it. That's the only interesting thing going. I want to see him get choked out. Or I want to see you choke Conor McGregor out.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, whoa. You're just sitting back and picking. You're sitting back and picking. You're sitting back and picking and throwing right. Like, it's not entertaining to me. I want you to do something innovative. That get into MMA. You want to be a real shit kicker. Because all those motherfucking MMA guys, they even are 100 pounds lighter than you, will kill you right now.
Hey, back to my what I was saying about Rick Tocchet though. Like if I were to rank my top 5 coaches in the league, like he'd be up there. He and Berube.
Yeah.
You know, you got some good ones there with Coop and Paul Maurice and Jared Bednar and Bruce Cassidy and Peter DeBoer. I mean, there's a lot of great coaches around. So I mean, putting together top 5, but Berube, Tocchet, they'd be right near there.
Well, if I was
right inside the top, maybe inside the top 5.
If I was an owner of a team, if we had the money, Andy and I, and we bought an NHL team, those kind of cats I want to hire.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh God, dang right, you're dang right.
But what I'm saying is like their foot is on the gas at all times, right? So players, I'm sure maybe that's not easy for all players to deal with.
What position are you in with your team?
But, JT Miller, like, he's your best offensive player. They needed a goal last night. He's not playing. So I think
a lot to
sometimes you just say, fuck, we'll just take the loss and, like, make an example at the same time. Yeah.
We don't know exactly what was going down. Like, if you read about it, I mean, I guess you can, but we're not in the locker room.
No.
We're not watching Canucks every single night. So we don't.
But they're not having the season that people thought that they would have.
Where are they at right now?
Stamkos scored a couple goals last night for
he broke a record.
Nashville. He's got 5 of his 6 goals are on the power play, Cam. He's just a power play specialist at this stage.
Well, that's why I got him.
Let's see here.
Oh, my dad's dropped off. Okay, good. God, thank
Somebody
God.
picked him up. I was going to say,
I don't mean to be like that with everybody. We love you. We're going to go to hockey. We do it. But sometimes we got to get real. And, like, it's just
Vancouver's in
tough.
3rd in the Pacific. The Pacific's not great. They'll be okay there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're not playing your best hockey and you're still hanging around and you're in that top 3 and you haven't even gotten to your A game yet, you're going to be in good shape. Because they will find their game at some point, right?
I like that team. I'll be up there with them on that road trip.
When is that?
So we're in Vancouver for like 4 days. Kate's
you're
not. Yeah, we are.
Because I hear there's like a Taylor Swift concert or something, so they're staying.
I will not be happy about that.
So they're not going.
Did you see Taylor Swift, by the way, on like the fucking 401, the most hardcore highway ever where there's traffic? She has her own escort, like a president, just to get to her thing, where people are trying to get home. Like it is. I don't know. She's for the people. Oh, yeah. It really worked out.
She has to have that type of.
I don't know. People are like, fuck you.
That type. She has that type. Dude, she needs that type of protection.
She's a singer. She's not a president.
The ring girls get a lot of attention in these fights.
Can I just start that? Who's the most popular person that came out of that whole event with Tyson and Jake Paul?
Well,
wait.
Let's be honest. It's not. They're not more popular than Tyson or Jake Paul.
When I go the next day, and I get up and I have my coffee, and I'm chilling, I put a fire on a little bit chilly, and I look at Twitter to Facebook to Instagram to whatever to see what's popping. A lot of shit going down. The number one person I saw more than anybody, more than Jake Paul, more than Mike Tyson, more than anybody, was this Sidney Thomas.
Can I say part of that is because you're local and it got a lot of local interest, and
maybe
it certainly got interest outside of St. Louis, but I think you're seeing more of it because of the local.
Doesn't matter. I'm just letting you know what I saw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like what? Like what's she doing?
She's the ring girl.
I know. I'm like, yeah, I've seen her before. Yeah. I know her dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know her dad real well.
Her dad. Cool guy. Yeah. Works his ass off at the Cardinals. And I'm like, I just keep seeing her. I'm like, what? Whoa.
Yeah.
And I know that she's a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm asking you with 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Would you, because I see him post stuff, but she doesn't like sing or dance, or it's not like a.
No, she's a model, dude.
She's a model.
Yeah.
But she shows cleavage off.
Okay.
Okay, like Andy doesn't know. Like Andy doesn't see that part. Like, I didn't see that. What do you mean you didn't see that?
That's what they hire her there for.
I'm just telling you, though.
They give her the outfits.
I know. But it shows cleavage.
When I went to the UFC fight and I sat front row with Peelsy a few months ago, they had ring girls in there. She may have even been one of them.
I'm just saying. Would you want, as a dad, seeing that? It's because it's sexualized, you know.
Is it?
See,
what are they getting paid to do? What are they getting paid?
What do you mean? She's a
what are they getting paid to do that?
Probably good money.
What do you think?
Don't know.
10 grand?
10 grand probably. You know, but she's a young kid, like working,
and
she's
maybe
doing all these things.
Lead to more.
I see her
opportunities.
Everywhere.
Oh, you do?
Like it's just she's doing. People are posting about her, all talking.
So
about
what else has she done?
She looks hot.
Okay. So she's a college student,
so
right?
she poses in skimpy outfits, and people get a reaction out of that. Duh,
like Instagram popular type
thing. He's acting like he doesn't know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. He's acting like he doesn't know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't play stupid. It's all good.
No,
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Instagram popular.
Would you, as a dad, look at these things and be like, I'm proud. Like, what would you, how would you react to it? You have 2 daughters.
It depends. If she's not doing anything that's like.
She's showing her chest off, you know. It's all good. I don't care. Like,
there's all different ways you can be successful. And I don't think what she's doing is bad. If
She's
that's
not,
what you're asking.
she's just enough, meaning like she's not like doing like there's
She's
other girls
not
on there
going
that are doing way.
OnlyFans and doing some stupid shit.
Oh, she would
rather
make
her-
she would make $1 billion.
I would rather her
She'd
do
make $1 billion
what she's doing
than
doing like a podcast on Barstool talking about like some of the
Getting
shit those
fucked.
girls talk about. Yeah.
well, they're gonna want her on there. So that's the thing now. Like they're gonna want to talk to her, and she's everywhere. So like, how does
Do
she
you agree
play
with that or no?
I'd rather you talk about it than show off your
Really?
body, I think. I'd rather you be funny that way, like you're humorous, like you're talking to your girls in like an intimate setting where like those girls probably say the same thing. Like I'd rather that than maybe
That's not an intimate setting. You're
No, but like that's what your vibe is when you're talking. Just kind of like what we do, Andy. We talk about
Yeah.
our fucking shit. Like talking about fucking dead cat and my mom dead. Andy has to forgets every goddamn month. My mom's dead. It's all good.
I do not
Like he
forget
forgets
that.
every you know. But like I'd rather do that than show sexiness off and that's it. As a dad, maybe. I don't know.
Really?
okay?
You would rather them
Am I being
talk?
weird?
I think I think that's a little
Beautiful girl.
bit. Yeah. I think what she did was harmless.
Harmless. I'm just saying, but it's
Okay.
still a sexy thing. So
But
like
if she's I'd rather her do that than act trashy on a podcast.
okay,
Just my opinion.
all good.
And I'm not like against any girls that are
No,
doing that on
hell no.
podcasts. I'll listen, I'll
No,
watch.
we're trashy.
Yeah, so
Who
like
cares?
that doesn't
That's
offend
why I
me.
like it.
But for my own daughter, I would if she was a ring girl, I mean,
Well, it's not just
I
a ring
wouldn't-
girl. She's a model
she's in
that
that mix
shows
in
off.
that environment. That would be
her
a lot for
bikini,
me to like.
a bik-
I'd be up at night
Would you-
worried. Is she okay?
let me ask you- let me-
after the fight, are they treating her well?
Who are you hanging out with?
Who's she hanging out with? Are people trying to take
P.
advantage
Diddy?
of her?
P. Diddy want to invite you to a
What's the
party?
circle? But
What about this?
I don't need her on Instagram and getting a
Well,
couple million views of totally being trashy.
No, but she's just gonna show her breasts off. You know, she's showing her breasts off
Where?
on Instagram. Like
In the fight?
I'm not even allowed to follow her because Kate will get mad. She shows her breasts off
Mhm.
everywhere. So, like, as a father,
You can't follow her? Kate wouldn't like that?
no, it doesn't matter. Why? I'm not going to because it's just like, what's the point of it? Hold on a second. I'm
Oh,
not done with you.
let me look
You
at it.
started this goddamn
Okay,
thing.
go.
It's all good. We
You're
love
holding
everybody.
back, I think, or something. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Would you post if she had a picture of herself flaunting her breasts? Your daughter, Chloe,
Mhm.
flaunting her breasts. She's a ring girl.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, God dang, what's that? Would you repost that and be like, I'm so proud of my girl? Where the attention is not anything you did. You weren't a stand-up comedian. You weren't on a show. You showed off your body. Would you repost that and be like, I'm proud of my girl?
No. I would
Okay.
not be like,
Wow,
oh my,
how dare you?
oh my God. No.
What about your daughter?
I
How
would
dare you not
not-
support your daughter,
well,
Andy?
No, it wouldn't be that. I just wouldn't want to
How dare
repost
you?
images of my daughter for everyone to look at.
Well, it's already out there. You know.
I would just
now
say,
you
way
get
to
what-
go, Sydney.
Like, just say
Or
it.
not even in her situation, because I don't know what her dad did and all that type of stuff. So I'm not.
Well, he'll like repost stuff. and
Okay,
whatnot.
whatever.
It's
So
all
I'm
good.
not aware of all that.
He's in a tough spot
But
with that too, I guess.
I would
You know,
support my kids. You know
he's
what
in
I'm
a
saying?
tough spot with that.
She's going to college.
She's probably making a shit ton of money.
She's making money. I
Yeah.
think she's got her head on straight. She's doing well in life. I think you got to evaluate the whole situation. If you haven't talked to her and she's on the road with some sleazebag people or whatever,
Yeah, and
doing
they're
some
treating her
shit,
weird. Yep.
then I think that's a completely different situation. You
Yeah.
just completely have lost control. But if they're going to
Were
a
we out of line with this
no.
conversation?
I think if
I don't
you're-
think
I
so.
think if you're a college student and you have your head on straight, your priorities are there, you're focused, you're driven.
But would it be tough as a dad, a girl dad, which you are,
Mhm.
when you see people like, God, I'd hit that, all
It just
posting
comes-
nonstop.
It comes with the territory.
Oh God, send me more of these. And all of a sudden there's treads of her looking sexy, like every post, like,
It comes with the territory.
and you're like, I like that. Like that's
It
odd.
comes with the
Just
territory.
like if you have a hot sister, and she posts a little dinky thing with her ass hanging out, and you're like, I like that. That's odd to me too. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Everybody's going to try to bang you, man.
I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know how to deal with that type of situation.
Well, you might.
I
eventually.
mean, my daughter, she's in 8th grade. She went to a chaminade mixer,
That's
over the weekend.
okay.
They're having fun.
Cool.
I just don't think to really worry about that. She's with her friends. They're having a good time.
But in 3 years, she's like invited to all these big dog parties.
Which
and
probably will be.
All these weird things that you see happening. Boom, 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 popping up like Diddy parties and whatnot. She's in the mix with all these fucking high testosterone guys everywhere. Boom, you're doing that. Like, that would weird me out.
Okay, so what do you do?
I don't know.
How do you avoid that?
Don't know. That's why I'm asking. So I'm asking.
Like, you can't, keep them in a bubble.
All those guys are like,
Not
what are you doing? What are
just
you doing?
Keep them home at all times.
You can't do anything.
And you just got to trust that you raised them the right way and that they make good decisions.
Yep.
It's all you can do.
Yeah, you're right.
To give parental advice out there is make sure you bring them up in a situation that hopefully leads to them making good decisions for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You brought it up.
You did in the green room prior to the show.
What? So what? Like
you hadn't gotten to it. I know you wanted to, so I wanted to. As the lead host of the Cam Strick podcast, I wanted to make sure I set you up for that.
I'm just asking.
Teed you up.
You didn't even answer anything. Like you gave the runaround like a politician. I legit asked you, like, what would you do? Like, things are good. You gave me nothing out of that.
Okay, so
pussy.
What did you want me to say?
Oh, what would you think, man? Like, okay. No, we already talked about it. It's over now.
Can we talk about a new sponsor on board?
Get going.
Bolt Sports.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, they got
a bunch of stuff going on.
This is like, if you want to get your kid something cool for Christmas who loves hockey, like, hear us out on this. It's the coolest Christmas gift going. Explain what it is, Cam.
Well, they have all kinds of different little stick handling devices, and it's all linked up to a cloud to where you can compete and show your scores off to all your other buddies that are doing it in your garage too. So if Andy's in his garage, I'm in mine. We have blah, 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 blah. It all goes to a little cloud.
And it lights up. It's cool.
Yeah, it's
it keeps
awesome.
Score. Like they got these danglers, these stick like you're used to seeing just like the regular bars. This is like beep beep, like lights up and stuff like that. It keeps score. You can
make it competitive.
Your teammate could be doing it in his basement at the same time, or his garage at the same time. And you're literally competing against one another.
Yeah,
you're getting online. You're competing against other guys all over the world who are doing it. It's super cool. They have these e-cones that literally light up. They're great not just for hockey players too, but if you have a soccer player, any type of training that you want to do from a conditioning standpoint, you can use them to stick handle around those as well, depending on the surface. But it's great for conditioning, training, getting into shape. We've got these targets, dude. And I said something to Jordan Bennington about this company who he's very familiar with. And he's like, dude, hang on. Goes into the back at the Blues dressing room and brings me back these targets that you can put on your net. Now, my kid shoots on a tarp that's on the wall downstairs where we have our shooting room.
That nice tarp where it absorbs everything. You could rip like real life.
I'd have to find a way to put these, which I'm sure you can, these targets up on the tarp. But it's great. Put them in your if you have a
driveway.
If you have a regulation size net or something like that. I mean, dude, you put these up there, and again, they light up every time you hit them, and it keeps your score, so you can kind of see how you're progressing and how you're doing. Dude, they didn't have this type of shit when I was a kid. This stuff's unbelievable.
That's why he didn't make it.
If I had one game.
If only Andy had one game, he'd be in a different spot right now. One NHL game. That's all it takes.
So, listen, top-tier training gear for hockey players, and the emphasis is on improving your stick handling, shooting accuracy, and speed and agility, which is kind of what we're talking about. So a couple major concepts, the dangles, which is those light up stick handling, bars that you kind of stick handle around, which are cool as shit. All the kids are going to be into these. You're going to want to get them for your kid. Get his friends to also get their parents to buy them for their kids during Christmas season, and then they can compete against one another. The snipes, what I'm talking about, those targets that you put on the wall, helps players compete, improve their shooting skills, do it online. The e-cones attracts the speed and agility through this free app. So the app is free. Bolt Sports, check it out.
Check that mug out.
BOLT, Instagram. They've got a website as well. It explains everything. They've got super easy to understand YouTube videos that are out there, demonstration.
And me and Andy are going to do a little competition too, and it'll be hilarious. We'll pump that up.
They've got multiplayer mode. Official training partner, the Dallas Stars Youth Hockey Program. How about that? They're hooking up with Bauer, doing some stuff maybe too.
Yeah, they're the real deal.
They're
and
doing
they got
a
all
bunch
kinds
of
of
shit.
stuff.
So anyway, Cam and Strick, use that promo code. It's going to save you 10%. And if you bundle more than one product, then you get 15% off.
Hook the kids up, baby. That's how you take them to the next level.
It.
Yeah, let's go.
Bolt Sports, baby. Check it out on Instagram and then check out their website and all the YouTube videos. And welcome aboard. Say welcome aboard to Sam.
Yeah, baby. Sammy boy, what's
And
up?
Francois.
Let's go. Francois. Let's go, baby.
What's up?
God
Welcome on board.
Dang right.
Even though Cam won't answer questions today, just having trouble. Just
talking to myself. I bring up a fucking topic. Actually, I didn't even bring it up. Andy brought it up. Doesn't even answer. Like, he's got daughters.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link. Say hi to Nikki boy.
What up, Nikki baby? What up?
We need to get back in there for a workout.
Yeah, we do.
You do.
Yeah, I'm all right.
You need to get back in there and start working out. Okay?
Like shit. What's up, baby?
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link and get some of those meat sticks, which have 20 grams of protein.
Make you horny.
I'm sorry?
Oh, make you horny?
Okay.
Oh, protein makes you horny.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah, you're damn right. It makes you horny.
What are you looking for down there? You're like
protein
around.
I got the First Form bag.
Oh, I love that.
So many.
First Form bag is cool. It comes with your name on it too. You know, you can put your name on it.
I know. Thank you. Thanks, Andy. God dang it.
We've got a great podcast coming your way on this edition as Cam looks for it. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Get the energy drinks, get the bars, get the apparel.
Boom.
They partnered with Normal Brand. This coat is from Normal Brand.
I like that coat. Looks good.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
It's very fall color.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
So they partner with Normal Brand. They've got Normal Brand and First Form hoodies and sweatpants that are available.
Oh, yeah.
I saw you made an order and they were medium, so they're not for you. I didn't know.
That was my dad.
Okay. Oh, good.
How'd you see an order?
You
creeping?
I just know what orders you make.
Lord. Creep.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Cam, tell them about Illinois Recovery Center.
Right there in Swansea, Illinois. Chrissy Pondoff, Eric Conley. They've been through hell. They understand it. And they got a god dang good thing going over there. You got to call them up anywhere you're at. We have people all over the place.
But with the holidays around the corner.
Holidays around the corner. You know how that goes. You're going to know. You're going to know little Jimmy ain't doing well. You got to help him out. Chrissy and Eric will help him out. Right there in Swansea, Illinois. I don't care if they're from Illinois. I don't care if they're from Missouri, Michigan. We've had people from all over go down there and get help. They will help you. Those are my boys. I know them personally. I'll be going out there probably this week, actually. Talk to patients. Yeah, talk to Chrissy about that. So he wants us to go to a game. There's a lot of things.
I may go with you down there.
It's all good.
Just to take
I could do it. Okay. I'll take this one. You're fine.
Okay,
Lord. Trust me, Illinois Recovery Center, right there in Swansea, Illinois. Get a hold of me on social media. Get a hold of Chrissy or Eric Conley. And, of course, get a hold of them. Go to IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
Yeah, and if you, listen, I know it's tough, man, around the holidays and stuff like that.
It's horrible.
They'll help you
It's
get through
horrible.
all of that.
It's horrible.
Family, everything. They become your family.
They know, and I know if you're rocked right now, like you're like, you don't want to go to family stuff because you know you're going to be kind of goofy. I get it, you know. So I'm feeling for you, man. Like I am. Or girls, whatever. So I get it, man. That's the tough spot.
Men and women.
Where you're like, fuck, I got to go. What if I drink too much? What if I got to do this? I don't have enough pills tonight because I'm going to be cranky and I'm withdrawing.
God.
I'm not hungry. Everybody's like, why aren't you eating? Why aren't you eating? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're like, I'm good. Well, you don't like the food? No, I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
You know.
Hatlaunch.com, baby. America's #1 source for hat launch. Somebody just told me they just made 500 orders to hat launch.
Eric Ormson. I'll give him a little shout out.
Yeah.
My boy, we skate.
500 orders.
Appreciate that, homie.
Yeah. Thanks for all the support. Jamal Mayer's ordered like 250.
Jammer, shout out. What's up?
The manager on my hockey team, he's not officially the manager, but he might as well be because he like creates all these orders. He just ordered a bunch of hats for the team to take to Toronto. Ty's team's going to Toronto. We'll be in Toronto in a few weeks. Looking forward to that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Hatlaunch.com. Get yourself some hats. They turn it around so quickly and they're so comfortable, including this one right here.
Right here,
and
too.
that one.
Yoink, yoink, yoink.
And they're cool as shit, man.
Yeah, god dang right. You know.
God dang right.
Dang right. I got this too right here.
Hells yeah. Bench Clears, baby. Benchclears.com. Look at this.
I like this Ottawa jersey right
Dude, they've got, I had a fire last night, Cam, and I took that blanket out to the fire. It was so damn nice.
Why do you have one and not me?
I don't know. Yeah, I'll get you one. Christmas is coming, dude. I'll probably get you one for Christmas.
Oh, is that what you're gonna do? That you hoarded for 3 months?
I've got some
Give
stuff.
me a blanket.
I've got some stuff to give you.
Give me a blanket. Seriously.
We're putting some stuff on our Instagram too that isn't necessarily in the show that you can check out too. You know, like that we like primetime displays and stuff like that. I've got some display cases for you to hang some jerseys in your basement.
I got a lot.
Okay.
I'll do it. I got a lot. I got
Cam
a lot of
thought
room.
you could hang something else. What did you want to hang
A
up?
poster.
A poster.
I mean, knocking somebody out.
I mean, I guess you could put a poster in there.
No, I didn't know. No, but I got jerseys too.
Yeah,
I
hang
got a
some
bunch of
jerseys up.
Yep. I got a bunch.
Okay, good.
So
Because we're, just part of the business deal. Okay.
no, I know, Andy.
Okay,
Let's
I need
go.
you to
So
kind of
I'll
like
go-
step up here.
How?
Okay.
Give me a thing. I'll put it up.
Oh, hatlaunch.com.
Now
baby.
that Boo died, I could actually do things in my
Oh,
basement.
no.
If you really want to bring it up.
Yeah, bench clears though. Use our promo codes to Cam and Strick. These are amazing Christmas gifts. They've got hoodies, they've got the blankets, they got these you can put over a hoodie in the fall and winter months, and in the summer, man, you're rocking these at the pool.
Rocking
the
and rolling,
beach.
baby. Let's go.
What a great gift.
Let's
every
go.
team, every American League team too,
Hell yeah.
and they've got the countries too. Everyone's talking Four Nations right now.
Get that USA.
Cole Caulfield, you got him on the Four Nations
Sure.
for USA. Tage Thompson.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I gotta look at it.
You can't
I
keep
gotta-
everybody. I'm just asking.
Okay. Yeah, Tage. Probably.
Brady, Matthew.
Yeah.
Keller.
Yeah.
JT Miller.
No, he got benched the other night. I mean, he's done. No, I'm joking. Yeah, probably. Damn right, I need a leader on there. I need somebody tough.
Hells yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Let's
Just
go,
making-
Andy.
just
Let's
making-
go.
just making
Let's
sure.
go.
Proper
It's been 2.5
cannabis,
fucking
baby.
hours.
Proper cannabis.
I made
Take
chicken.
your holidays to the next level.
Thank you. I made chicken noodle soup, homemade, from scratch. I got my mind right a little bit. Just a
Oh.
little bit. It's all good.
Uh-huh.
Got my mind right a little bit. And I made the god dang good chicken noodle soup. Dang good. From scratch. I got 2 birds, put it in water.
Did you debone
sit in
it?
I did after a while. I cooked it for a little bit. Then I deboned the
Chop
mug,
the neck
put the
off.
bones back in. I had other bones from other things. And I
Oh,
stuck it in there.
God.
And I made this bone broth. I let it go for 3.5 hours, like with fucking veggies in that mug and all that. And I tasted. I'm like, okay, ready to rock. Then I put the chicken back in there. Then I put noodles in there. God damn, it was good. Damn good. Didn't even cost me that much money. Those 2 birds were like $9 a piece. Just so all y'all know, it actually makes you non-sick. If you have a little bit of, you drink this. I'm telling you, it's damn good.
Mm.
Cam's homemade chicken noodle soup.
All right, well, put the recipe up there, dude.
I just did.
Oh, because I made a bunch of stuff too over the weekend. We should have some of our recipes. We should do like a cookbook or some cooking videos or something like that. Maybe when you guys come over, we'll do something.
I want one of Andy's famous steaks. He's never
Dude,
tried
they're
before.
So good.
They're so good. I haven't tried it, but god dang, they're good.
They're so damn good. Oh man.
Goofy.
Proper cannabis though. Take your holidays to the next level.
Yeah, man. You get the 99.
Cam and Strict 20 saves you 20%. That's a hell
You'll
of a
get
deal.
hooked up,
too.
baby. You'll get hooked up.
They've got drive-throughs. You don't even have to get out of your car. That's pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, God, yeah. I like going there and saying, hey, people.
Yeah, me too.
I got questions always.
But Proper Cannabis, dude, they've got so many locations.
Yeah.
Check it out online. You can do all your shopping online too, which we love. Proper Cannabis. Would you give that for stocking stuffers to Kate and stuff like that? or-
No, but to kids, no, but I'll give it to myself.
Mhm.
I get that for myself. You know,
Does she get that for you?
stocking stuffer. Like Kate doesn't smoke that much. I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I need to be chilled. So
It's legal.
I'll give myself a stocking stuffer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and give it to dogs. No. Boo's dead.
Oh, God, you
Kate
don't have to
doesn't-
say it like that.
Well, you're like stocking stuffer. Who
Oh
the
my
fuck do I got the
God.
stocking stuff for?
You don't
Kate?
have to talk
She doesn't
about
smoke that much.
We're in the booze.
No, but you always
Studios.
there's always something.
Okay. This is the
Are you going to
Cannabis-
give it to your stocking
we're
stuffer to the
live in the
kids?
Boo Boo Studios, presented by Half Coast.
You know, I'll stocking stuff myself.
Our Boo Boo Studios live at Half Coast.
There it is. So,
In honor of Boo Boo. I've never met a cat person before, so this is
you don't know that many people, I guess.
Cam at Bellman. You get no.
Swinging dicks. None of that bullshit. Psychos. Intimidate. They come out and I'm tough. No, you're not. Settle down. Not at Bellman. Your wife can go there.
Yes, you
Guys
can.
out there fucking sniffy poo. Fucking smelling our fucking hair.
Oh my
The
God.
fuck out of here. That shit.
Buick GMC on one side of the street, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the other side. It's a stone's throw right across the street right there. You can't miss it. This place is, the sign is so big you can't miss it. Oh, everyone's doing the Trump dance. We'll talk about that after the interview. But hey, listen, Bellman.com, baby.
That Trump dance.
Shout out to Danny boy.
Danny, what's up?
Do the dance for Danny. And for Dale.
Dale.
And for Kenny.
Kenny. They're all doing it and they hate it in the NFL.
Sparks.com. We talked about it earlier. SparksHockey.com. Get that skate sharpener. What a great gift.
Dang
For
good.
the hockey dad in the family.
Yeah.
What a great gift. A skate sharpener from Sparks Hockey, baby. SparksHockey.com. Say no to Seth. Say yes to Sparks.
There it is right there.
Because Seth is doing things.
He's a weirdo. He's weird.
What if he is sitting next to you at holiday dinner?
You got to deal with him. You know,
Okay.
what am I going to punch him, Andy? And he wants some kind of crazy fucking.
We don't want
answer.
drama, but I'm
No,
waiting for
you don't
those.
drama.
Hey, send
What's
us
he
your,
doing?
Send us your.
Is he going through Kate's underwear?
Send us your conversations talking politics at the family
Oh,
dinner.
God.
We do want to see those.
Be cool with that, though.
But just hide the camera, film the conversation.
No, just if you're gonna film, I just am curious.
When you have Aunt Libby getting
progressive Aunt Libby,
Hey man, Jason Demers, cool
cat.
guy, dude.
Yeah, he's totally
Great conversation, played a long time. Very entertaining conversation. Coming up next on the Cam and Strick Podcast.
Love y'all.
The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/camandstrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/camandstrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. But I will say, listen, the one thing about radio is, and we just hit record and just go.
we just go.
We got no rhyme or reason to anything we do. But nobody knows. I mean, they're listening at home. You can embellish a little bit. You don't want to like lie, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you feel like you're getting, you don't know what to say, just talk. You know what I mean? They only know what you're saying. So
yeah, you get a little bit of, you can hide just a bit and completely talk about a different game, and that's fine. Yeah, I know. I've had a couple of those where I'm like correcting myself, and I'm wait a minute, nobody can fucking see me that I just messed this up.
No.
I'm like, keep going with it. Yeah,
Somebody will.
somebody will find it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And let me ask you this, and I mean this in all reality. I mean, San Jose, like, is that? And I've never chirped San Jose. I love going to games there. Going to games back in the day when, like, I've been to a bunch of playoff games there. Like, the place is packed. It's got to be a great place to play, home and away. But I mean, is there a lot of interest in the team right now? Are a lot of people listening? Like, you feel like on radio there's pressure, or you feel like you're just getting your reps, man, and it's going to lead to bigger things for you?
Listen, I think I'm getting reps but I listen, the San Jose fans are always around and they always support the team, which is cool. You know, obviously if you look in the Bay Area right now, you got the 49ers, which are, you know, they're killing it. And then the Golden State Warriors. So it pulls a little bit of attention away. It's very different than like, you know, some of these bigger markets where there's such an appetite. You really have to make sure you're like playing well for the fans, and because you're gonna always have a fan base there. I think we did such a great job those years of being so competitive that people learned so much about the game, and then now they're you know, they love it. They love hockey and they learn so much about it. But obviously you know, everybody knows, and it hasn't been hidden that it's a rebuild. So they're just trying to kind of, but they got to listen. They played well, a lot better than I think people thought this year. They're in games. They got some exciting young talent, but you know, everybody kind of knows what the deal is.
Yeah, listen, our boy Lukey Cunning's there, man. I keep in touch with him. Like he's a hard worker, and he can play like if I'm a playoff team and I was looking to add a guy at the deadline. I mean, I'm not saying that the San Jose should trade him, but if you wanted to add a guy who could maybe impact a team come deadline time, he'd be a guy that I'd be looking at. But I always joke around in San Jose that I always say the fans on the glass. It's the only place in the league where the fans on the glass are making more money than the players. Like
you got that from Domi.
All those techies. No, did he say that?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Because some fan said I make more money than you.
Oh,
he said it on our podcast.
I don't remember that.
Well, if you look at, Domes shouldn't be one to talk. If you look at Toronto, I mean, that whole lower bowl is all corporate. So there's a lot of money at that lower bowl.
Exactly.
More so now but yeah, there's so much tech money there. But man, it is a blue collar fan base that comes out. Like there's obviously, that you've got the rich people there, but there is a blue collar fan base there that just loves the game because it's their team. There really isn't. Obviously, you have the 49ers in Santa Clara, but within that area of San Jose, it's like that's their first sports team. That's their baby.
Where do you live? Do you live in San Jose? Do you live around there? Or?
No, I'm living in Phoenix, Arizona, and then we have a place in the city because I do a lot of stuff with the network. So I've just my wife's had a place in the city for a while, so we just hang here. So I just kind of go back and forth.
Oh, that's nice. You
baby. like doing that NHL Network stuff too?
Yeah.
Like, who introduced you to the broadcasting game? Like, how'd you get involved with that?
I mean, I retired and I was kind of looking for a purpose and wasn't sure what. And I wasn't even retired. I was just like, I don't know what's next. And do I go play in Europe? I had a couple offers to go play overseas. And then Devin Fox, who she works for the Sharks for NBC, and she reached out and was like, why don't you go try NHL Network and why don't you go do an audition there? And I was like, I'm not sure if I want to do the TV shit. I'm like, it's a bunch of blowhards out there anyway. And then my wife was kind of like, go try it. Yeah, maybe you'll like it. So I ended up going for an audition. I was supposed to stay for like a segment, and this was last year. And they're like, why don't you stay for the whole show? And I'm like, all right, sure, let's do it. And then I've enjoyed it since. It's been a crazy couple years because, I like the first month doing it, they're like, do you have interest in doing like the stadium series? And I was like, and that was like live outside. And I was like, yeah, I was just saying yes to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up doing the stadium series. And they're like, do you want to do the finals? And I was like, yeah, I'll go do the finals and do like a hit at the finals. And I did some stuff with NHL Studios too, their digital platform. And I just kind of did Yes Man, the Jim Carrey movie, and was like, yes, yes, yes. And then my schedule was completely loaded up and I've enjoyed it. It's been fun. Makes you feel like you're in the game and without all the bumps and bruises. I know Cam can talk about that. You feel like you're in it, but you're not getting punched in the face or you're not as sore the next day. You're just tired.
Yeah, you're mentally tired.
Mentally.
Like, it's hard to keep track of all the good players too. Like there's a lot going on every other night, every single night. So is that like difficult for you? Like to keep up with everything?
Well, I was going to ask, I always ask guys in the business because I'm trying to not that I'm trying to figure it out, but when I first started, I was like trying to watch every game and I had like a computer, my phone, the TV, and I'm like flipping through and I'm catching 2 shifts of every game. And then I'm going in the next day and I'm like, I don't even know what I watched. Like, so then it's like a couple guys I talked to were like, listen, you pick like a game you like, you follow, you watch the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize like it's a ton of like I don't watch anything else but hockey during the season because I don't have the capacity to really digest anything else. So it's really just like watching the game, watching one game I like, watching the highlights, watching clips, looking at like, I'll look at guys that have podcasts and see what they're talking about and be like, okay, that's something that an angle that I didn't really know about or didn't hear. So I'll go dive in and you consume so much sport. So, the guys that have been doing it forever, it's so impressive. And I have such a deeper respect for it now than I did before, where it was like, oh, these guys are all fucking idiots. And then I'm just like, these guys are like just on it, like knows everything.
They are, man.
Well, like last night was an off night, so you can pick and choose who you want to watch. But I watched a lot of like Detroit and Pittsburgh. You can't always watch the top teams. You kind of know who they are.
Hey,
Everyone's talking about Pittsburgh. They gave up 6 goals in the first period to Dallas a few nights ago. I'm like, okay, I want to see what's going on with Pittsburgh and Detroit, who kind of like they're like the same thing every year. You're just kind of waiting for them to take that next step. So sometimes you got to watch the bad teams too. I like watching teams like San Jose. I want to see what this Macklin Celebrini is all about. Even though his first game was against St. Louis, and he was like putting on a show, and then he got hurt. So you like watching him though? Like what's impressing you about him?
Well, number one, I'm sorry you had to put yourself through Pittsburgh, Detroit. Those games,
I switched around a little bit. I caught the last 10 minutes of that Toronto game, which was unbelievable
yeah, that
watching
was
their
a good game,
comeback.
That
man.
was a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pittsburgh just needs to let Sid go. Just Sid to Colorado. I've been on that fence, just screaming from the rooftops. But
Dude, we
no,
said this last year. We were like, why would he resign? This guy's more than a point per game player. Still, like, as a fan, I want to watch this guy play in the playoffs. He's really done enough for like Pittsburgh. He doesn't know Pittsburgh anything more. I wish, man, I'm with you. I wish he'd go somewhere else
Sid
and
though,
play.
he's Sid. He's got a flip
Yeah.
phone. He's a reserved guy, and you never know his next move. But I'd love to see him play with Colorado. But no, Macklin's impressive, man. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I watched some of the games leading up, but seeing him live, and I mean, his head, it's crazy. This new generation of player, like I had to stare at the puck half of the game when I had it on my stick. These kids, man, it's like their eyes they don't have any 1 ounce of their eyeballs staring at the puck. Their heads up, and their body control is so much different than it was back then. And I mean, maybe just because the puck handling is so much better, and you don't have to worry about getting hit as much, and you can kind of really weave your way, and you have more time. I just felt when I played, if you look down for a second, you're getting run over, but because you had only about half a second before somebody was hitting you. But he's so dynamic the way he skates and moves, and he's still learning the game too. I think the thing with Macklin is like he'll probably get caught this year doing too much at times because he dominated for so long, and then now you come into this league, and it's a hard league to play in and adapt to, and you can see that he'll get kind of extended shifts and maybe miss some plays that he'd otherwise make, but he's going to be dominant, man. I I'd take him over, and I hate to say this, I'm not being biased, but I love Connor Bedard. He's a great player, but I think Macklin's ceiling is higher than Bedard's, I think.
Mm.
Watching it.
Like,
It's
Yeah.
interesting you say that. Bedard doesn't
Yeah.
shoot the puck enough for me. Like sometimes I feel like he's got opportunities to shoot. He passes up time. He should be producing at a higher clip, I think, at this stage, having played last year. But his highlight reel from his rookie year was like insane when you really
Man,
watch what this guy
yeah.
did last season. But I'm curious watching Celebrini. We had, Jay Pandolfo on with us last year, and he compared him to Crosby. He's like, he's more like a Crosby than a McDavid. Do you see Crosby in his game in terms of how he plays when you think, kind of envision him long term?
Yeah, he's got an underrated defensive game. Like he's really strong under pucks. And I mean, if you look at last game, if you just look at his stat line, I mean, the I can swear on this podcast too, right?
Damn right.
This little fucker had 5 hits, and he was mixing up with Michkov, and I know they showed the clip of Michkov punching, but like he's not scared. Like he goes into the battle, he takes hits, he gives hits, he gets deep on the defensive side of the puck. He wants to block shots, so like he's a very different animal. I think he's going to become a true 200-foot player, and he does have Crosby in his game. I mean, obviously, listen, Crosby is still in my mind until he leaves, one of the greats, and just such a high, McDavid's McDavid, but Crosby is like my generation of when I came into the league. He's it until he's gone. So I think he's got a long way to go to get to Sid. Obviously, you got to win a couple times and do a lot in the playoffs, but he's got that. You could see it. He's got the compete, and he's not scared one bit. Like he was doing some moves last game where I'm like, he's gonna get killed, and guys were trying to run him, and he's taking the hits and giving shots after the whistle, and all with that little baby face. So I'm just like, it's funny. That kind of reminds me of Crosby a little bit. Like he's got some fuck you in his game, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
How is he? Like, is he a good kid? Is he funny? Like some of
Great.
these kids, okay. Because some of them kind of, robotic at times.
Hi,
Yeah.
how are you?
Hi, I'm the,
I play hockey.
like loosen up, baby. Like it's all good,
Oh.
Take advantage of
I
the
know.
moment.
They're so, I mean, this, Cam, like they're so media trained now,
Yeah.
and it's just so, these kids come up and they're very, I always say these kids have just been playing back like when Crosby came in. Those were like the guys. It was fewer and far between where you had these guys that just focused on one sport and they were like these robots, and you had all these. They were surrounded by a bunch of us, degenerates and guys that were just there to. We were wanted to compete and have fun and win, but once we were outside the rink, we were gone, and you're not thinking about the game. And these guys, all these kids, it's like their life. But he's a good kid. He's funny. You could see him. He's got some personality, and he loves to be there, man. And the cool thing is he's been around athletes. Like his dad's the kind of the director of development for the Golden State Warriors. Like he does all the training, and so he's been around those guys, Steph and Draymond, and it's kind of a little bit. It's like a little bit like Max Domi a bit, where Max was kind of surrounded by the celebs his whole life. So you see his personality. He's comfortable, and Macklin's kind of got that where it's like he's already like very at ease because he's already been around this type of life.
Yeah. Matthew Tkachuk's the same way. Like it's like these guys. It's like they've been in the NHL. When he was going at it with Doughty his rookie season, I would joke around with people. I'd be like, "Well, he's been in the NHL longer than Doughty has, even though he's a rookie." All these guys live with him. Big Walt would have guys living with him all the time, and Big Walt's the guy when players come in town, they would always end up at his house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They come over for dinner and stuff like that. So they were always around it. So there's something to be said for that. And Draymond, like he legitimately likes hockey. I was with Torrey Krug this morning at an event. They went to Michigan State together. They're like, this guy like loved all the hockey players, So I don't know if he goes to the games all the time, but he was at Celebrini's first game. They got that Warriors connection, I guess. But
yeah, he watches it, and he's the strength coach that's here now, Mike Potenza. He was with Golden State for a few years, and he just said they're all awesome guys there, which was I wasn't sure. I was on the fence about how the NBA guys were, but he said they're great and super supportive of the Sharks and stuff like that. So yeah, he's already been around it and knows what the game's like, and he knows how those guys are getting paid. So
yeah, they're also like, I'm also making 45 schmilly a year.
Yeah.
So they still probably look down upon you a little bit.
Yeah, so he had that just a bit. Yeah. He's a great kid though. I think he's got a bright future. He's going to be. I think he's figured out the game, but he could see him. He's already, and he's thick, man. He looks small on the ice, but he's thick. I was surprised when I saw him. I was like, oh, he's big legs and like big back, and he's built for this.
Mm-hmm.
Doing those box jumps, 2 years old.
Dude, your story's kind of interesting too, though. I didn't realize when you were playing that you're a Montreal guy, that you're from Montreal. So like, but you don't speak any French. Is your family French Canadian?
Yeah, I'm fluent in French. Yeah, I speak both.
So like growing up, were you at like a French speaking school? Was your house French speaking? Like were the friends down the street speaking French? Like how does it go down in Montreal?
All my hometown buddies like that I've known since I was 15 years old and went to school with, they're all fully French. Like I was just at a bachelor party with 10 guys, and it was all French. And I got picked on by all of them for years because my French is a little broken, and because I spoke English in my house, and my mom's French Canadian. But yeah, I went over. It was interesting because I got drafted to San Jose, and I had to like hide it because French guys, there's a stigma around us, and Cam could say that there's anytime you had more than 3 or 4 French guys, that always go, there's probably one that's like selfish or so it's like you come in the league and on a team, and Cam's laughing because he fucking knows. And I came in and it was like, don't tell anyone you're French. Like, so I just kind of like hit it and was like, yeah, no, I'm English Quebecer and this and that. And all people would be like, oh yeah, good. Like we know about those French guys. Cause there's a couple guys that came in and people just had that stigma for years, and that's gone now. But it was when I started in 2010, I was like, no, I'm English, man. I'm fucking English, and don't worry about a thing. There's
you hit it well.
There's no we is just me going to pee. That's it.
No
That's
shit,
it.
dude.
Hey,
That's
I'm
funny.
not even gonna say who it is, who the coach was, but like there was a coach here that asked a player, "Are you gonna play like a Canadian or a French Canadian tonight?" and it was like
Yeah.
it was a big ordeal. Like they had to have like a conference call with the agent and everything.
Like,
And
yeah, man, not to say like, listen, it is what it is, and we live in a different world now, but the shit that went on like early on, especially with French guys and stuff, like there could have been a case for guys to been like, and I was kind of, again, it is what it is, and at times it was you're like, oh, okay, easy now, but I mean, you could have argued and camps like they were hard on French guys, like, or
Yeah.
especially you were outnumbered too. Like you came in and you were, there was a lot of dub and OHL guys, and at those times it wasn't a ton of college, but yeah, you were like you had to like prove you weren't a pussy coming in.
No doubt.
You
No,
like
I get you on that. And a
yeah,
lot of
so
them weren't, man. A lot of those tough guys were French. You
yeah,
know,
and they all had
LeBlanc
a
and all
chip on
them.
their shoulder.
and La Rock and all those guys.
Lil Rock. Yeah. There's some
Well, we
badass
always
dudes.
I always joked I was
Richard.
like the any fighter that came out of the queue was like tough as shit.
God, yeah.
But then the rest of us wouldn't fight as much. We'd have the one that would police the whole league, and he'd come in. I mean, you had some. I mean, your day, man. You had some fuck killers that came out of
man.
you.
The toughest year was that 04 lockout year, dude, where all the shit kickers were on every single team, 4 or 5 of them. Everybody just
In the
loaded up
American
in
League.
the American League during the lockout. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
a crazy. That was a crazy league.
That year in the 04 lockout, and I mean, I got a taste when I was in it. We had the 12 or 13 lockout when the A loaded up. Those were like the best years for the AHL. Like
Yeah.
the hockey, how good it was, but then also you had all the tough guys. Because you had the A tough guys that weren't going to make it, and then you had you guys coming down that were playing in the NHL, and it was like fucking, yeah, get your popcorn every night. And I know that's awesome. I mean, it must have been nuts to go through that. But
It was.
Hey, how was Brad Marchand Jr.? Like I'm watching him play live the other night. I just wonder like what's gonna happen with him in Boston. Like these teams, it's tough, man. I give these ownership groups and general managers a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because when you got guys that are 35, 36, and they've been great players for so long, you see what like Nashville brings these guys on board. Like, how long can you expect these guys to maintain that level of play? Not to say that he's dropping off or he can't play, but it's like Tampa Bay had to make a tough decision and everybody was all over him. But it's like the New England Patriots. I always say for years, Bill Belichick, he always knew when to like move on from a guy a year before. You know what I mean? Because eventually they're going to fall off. There's no prediction when it's going to happen. But it's tough, man. Brad Marchand is going to be in that situation maybe. But how was he in junior? Did you know this guy was going to go on to like have this type of career?
yeah, just because I mentioned having the fuck you in your game, like
Yeah.
he plays with the chip. I mean, listen, it started slow to start the year. He's been picking it up as of late, but I mean,
Yeah.
he had so many surgeries
Injuries,
this off
yeah,
season.
for sure.
It's gonna take him. He probably didn't train at all till about 2-3 weeks before camp.
Yeah.
And then he's just kind of getting into the flow of it. I mean, they brought in so many new guys, so I feel like they're figuring it out as they go. But yeah, I mean, I was with him for my 16-year-old year and then parts of my 17. Yeah, he was great, man. He was a competitor from day one, and every time I played against him, it was fun, and I loved competing against him. And he brings out the best in guys, and I mean, he tests you, even though for being that little, he'll test you to make sure you're going in the corner. Like you got to make sure you got your P's and Q's minded because he'll come out with the puck. So as a D man, you always kind of to be careful of him. Obviously, like he's not the biggest in terms of injuring you hitting wise, but he'll make you look stupid. And I mean, to your point, you mentioned about like the coming off guys early. It is tough. Like Vegas did it with Marcia, so you could argue, thinking, hey, maybe a year or two early. But I played with Brad Richardson, and he said something once, and I'm still on a soapbox for it. I think 35 and up, or even maybe depending on what age at 30, but you shouldn't count against the cap. There should be an exemption rule for like 35 to keep guys like the Corey Perrys in the league that are still effective, not as effective, but you need it to keep the league going in the right direction and keep the culture. I think I think they got to start looking at that to potentially keep 1 or 2 spots that are cap exempt where you can sign a guy to $1 million and have a guy like, not, Brad Marchand now, he's still dominant, but in say 2-3 years, he falls off a cliff, but he's still effective enough. He's going to be not out of the league, but he'll be hard pressed to find a job. But if you look at the Shattenkirks and guys that are waiting to,
Yeah, I know, man.
teams would bring him on if they were cap exempt, because they're guys that you want around your locker room, right? But I feel like I wish the league would look into that a little bit just to keep the older guys in the league and also guys that have kind of bled for the league. And you see so many guys get booted out at 35 and they can still play. It's just because it's a money's thing because of the hard cap and you're so stuck.
Yeah, Shaddy wants to get to 1,000 games, and
Yeah.
I hear you. Now you can negotiate bonuses in your deal that don't count against the cap at 35. But and I'll say this, man, like the Blues brought Ryan Suter on board this year at 39, and these guys just know how to play the game. Like they don't overextend themselves. Like because of injuries, like he's playing on the top pair and he's playing 23 plus minutes every night, and he hardly even sweats. Some games are better than others, but like you saw, and he's making the minimum, right? And I think
No.
Max Pacioretty, the same thing in Toronto, even though he's dealing with some injury. I just think those guys are a no-brainer for me. If I was a general manager, I'd be looking for those guys. Who can I bring in who's gonna make nothing? There's like no risk involved when you're paying them the minimum, you know?
Well, I mean, Suter was able to take the minimum because he
He's
got the
made
bag.
$500 million.
He robbed the league with a ski mask for about 10 years. Yeah. And now he's just
I
like, yeah,
know.
I'll take less than minimum if you want to give it.
I know.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
going on 1,500 games, which is
Yeah.
crazy, you know?
I mean, the way he plays and, the way he kind of cheat coded the system to stay healthy for majority of the time and the smarts of, I played with Johnny Oduya was a lot like that, where,
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's good
he
too.
always used to say, guys, don't go, when you go in the corner, if you're a D-man and you're playing heavy minutes, don't hit anybody with your shoulder. He's like, cross check. He's like, just cross checking the low back, cross checking the shoulder. He's like, you're wasting your energy and you might, on the off chance, hurt him, but you'll hurt him more with a cross check to the ribs and you'll be less tired.
That's what
Now,
Suter does. That's how he goes into the corner with his stick.
look, those guys, a lot of those guys that play a long time, you figure out a way to play those minutes because you can't, in good conscience, play 25, 27 minutes a night and play like a nut job. You have to manage yourself because you'll look at Peter Angelo. Peter Angelo, if you look, he's stick on puck, and then if he's got a hit, it's like cross check into the shoulder, into the back, and he doesn't waste his energy. And that's how those guys really beat the system and get further. I had to try to run around weighing 180 pounds, and just it wears on your body over time. It's just like you're getting into a car wreck every game.
Unfortunately, they're going to start calling those penalties all the time. Guys are going to know that you're going to do that, and they're going to go, fall into the boards, ticky tack calls that we see a lot of. So,
How do you like? I gotta ask you that question. How
What
do you
up?
like all that? How do you like all the diving in the league now?
Well, I don't know. I think the NHL's in a good spot. I really do.
Yeah.
There's still big hits. It's
yeah.
it's still fun to watch. I just don't like, 2 minutes into the game, there's a couple penalties. You look back on the penalties, like, okay, like he barely touched them there. So little things like that bug me a little bit. But I don't know, man. I'm enjoying watching the games. These kids are fucking fun. I like these heavyweight tilts. There's a great tilt the other night. I like to see that here and there. But as long as the hits they're killing each other, I don't care. I love it.
Yeah, they the league's in a great place, honestly, with the style of the game. Yeah, the only thing is, they're trying to get power plays and goal scoring up, and I think like save percentages went down as is continually went down the past like 6 years. So they're scoring more, and it's in a good place in terms of these kids are doing crazy shit. They're hitting each other. There's still some enormous body checks, and I mean, there's still the Brendan Dillons, which that fight was just absolutely incredible, and just straight uppercuts to overhand rights was an awesome tactic. I love watching that, and yeah, the league's in a good place. There's a good mix of everything, and And I wish there, the only thing is I'd like to see some teams that haven't been in the playoffs start getting there.
There it
That's the
is.
one thing. It's the same fucking
I
8
know.
teams every year. And I'm like,
Let's go.
you talked about good organizations. Like that's where the parity is in the NHL. It's not necessarily players. There's a parity in the way organizations are run.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect, and you could see like it's the same. Like you look at the Atlantic, and you look at Buffalo, Detroit, Ottawa. Every year, you're like, you guys should be in the playoffs, and every year it's like they're all 500 at this point.
They're just firing coaches and just try to. It's like a spin cycle.
Yeah.
Spin cycle. It's funny you bring on Brendan Dillon because I always got you guys confused. And maybe because it was like you guys got traded for each other a couple times or whatever. But hey, of all those guys you play with in San Jose, and some legendary players, and like Joe Thornton, one of my favorite players ever to watch, man. He just played so different. I gotta know about this Douglas Murray guy. Like, what was he?
God.
What was his deal? Like, he was he's from Sweden, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, was he a cool guy off the ice?
He's like one of the best teammates, greatest guys. Like he, I haven't talked to him. I mean, probably years, but he was just like the party planning committee.
Was he?
He was one of those guys that always got the guys together for a party, and he kind of taught me a little bit. He would. San Jose has those kind of legendary Vegas trips we do at the end of the season, and kind of. I feel like we kind of started a trend, and a lot of teams start to do that now, where they do a big end of the year trip that you get a PJ and go over. But he kind of was the one that set all those up. Like he set him up. He would set up the hotels. He would just tell you, show up at the airport at 2 p.m., bring like $2,000 cash, and then you don't have to worry about anything for the weekend. And you'd go and there'd be everything set up from clubs, dinners, like incredible stuff. And I mean, watching him play on the ice is like one of the funniest, craziest. A guy that moved like that, like was effective for years.
Yeah.
And on some great, fantastic teams. And I mean, he was built like a ship brick house. And I've never seen a guy be able to drink like that and wake up in the morning completely fine and dance all night with every girl in the bar and be spinning every girl in the bar just full of sweat and having a good time and just like life of the party. Like he was just like, there's so many Doug Murray stories that like I don't even know which one to take and which one I also have to be careful because I'm seeing him at the Jumbo's jersey retirement. I don't want him to just sucker punch me when I blow up his spot. But he was fantastic as like a guy and a teammate. And I mean, watching him fight Eric Bolton.
Oh God.
And Eric Bolton punching him directly in the face and Eric Bolton breaking his wrist on that was like the most I've never seen a guy take a punch
oh my God
to the dome and not even flinch. Do you remember that, Cam? I don't know if you remember.
Because I was with Bolts, who's my best buddy on the team, who I love.
Yes.
He broke his wrist and I got more playing time.
I was gonna say because you were there. Yeah, that was like that's funny because I remember sitting on the bench and we're like, oh, come on, Dougie, and then you see him, Bolton's kind of giving him the business, and then he just hits him. It's like his face was dead straight, like no turn, and the fist was just like right here.
It was
like
perfect.
You're like a perfect punch. Like you couldn't. That's like the punch. I'm sure, Cam. Like you dream of that. Like you get a guy no shoulder, no impingement. Yep. And he fucking breaks his wrist, and Dougie just like eats it and then keeps fighting. Like it's like a blink.
It's unbelievable.
We're like in the room after, like, Dougie, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. We're like, you
how can you be after
nothing.
That? And Bolts knew how to throw, dude. He threw from downtown. He found it because he wore like really loose jerseys, so he'd get out of that and go full force. And he popped up. Trust me, that's still probably going to hit him down the line because you get rocked like that, dude. I'm sorry. I don't care how tough you are. You're probably going to, we're all going to feel it in about 25 years.
Oh, yeah. But I'm sure Bolts is just like, how the fuck did I just hit him flush and I'm the one hurt? and out for
Yes.
3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be so
Right.
frustrating.
It is. That's funny, man. Bolts. Good God.
Hey, how'd you like playing in Dallas with those guys? I'm waiting for them to take the next
Yeah.
step. Like we've always, and I know like they're in the same division and they've had some rivalries with St. Louis and whatnot, but I'd like to see them kind of like they seem like a likable group. You know what I mean? Some of those guys that have been there for a while.
Well, yeah, they're right there. I mean, it's going to be, it begins and ends with Otter. I think if Otter can get him over the hump, I think in the playoffs, he'll play, have great spurts, and then kind of when it's big. So I think he needs to kind of get there. But I mean, there's not a team in the NHL that I can think of that drafts and develops as good as Dallas. Like if you look at everybody on that team, it's all through their system, other than a couple older guys they bring in. And I mean, if you look at their contract structure, I mean, when they get those big contracts off the books, they're like perfectly set to have room and have all their young guys paid. Like Robertson's paid, Lindell's paid, Heiskanen's paid, and they're going to be set for the next 5 to 10 years. So they're going to be competitive. They're like a little bit like San Jose, like we were for those 10, 15 years of we're just good, but it's like we need to get there. Like we need to finally get over the hump, and what it's going to take for that, I don't know. I mean, I think the only thing I don't love is their decor. I think they could get a little deeper on the back end. They need like one more top four guy, but I feel like that's a lot of the league. But yeah, it's a great place to play, man. You fucking Saturday nights there. Everybody's at the rink, ready to go out to the nightclub. Everybody's dressed in their best. You're coming out on the rink and you're literally looking around like, oh my God.
Yeah,
And
dude.
everybody's going to the bar after the game. And, it was just such a great, great. And you got a lot of guys, you want to talk about like the Vegas flu, like you got a lot of guys hung over playing Dallas on the road. Like it was a big city. It's not sneaky, but you get a ton of guys coming in the next day on game day. Like, oh, like you could look over on the other side, guys be in the room, like a couple guys hung over there on the other side. Cause it's a small town too. So, when guys go out and stuff. But it's such a fun come playoff time and the fans love it there. The rink's right downtown. There's great bars and restaurants. It's up there and probably, and I was lucky in the league. I got to play in Florida, I got to play in San Jose, and I got to play in Arizona. And I mean, I lucked out with every city, but that city in terms of like easy living, low taxes,
Yeah, dude.
travel wasn't too bad because the airport was really close. Like it was,
Good looking women.
Everywhere.
Good looking women.
And it's a great sports town too, man. Like the fans, the people are into the sports.
God.
Yeah, great sports town.
What about when you went to Arizona? Like, were things different there? I mean, like, you think of Arizona and what went down, and you think that maybe the plane's all fucked up, and you're doing the cheap things where you're maybe, I don't know, getting a school bus to go from the hotel. Like that's kind of the perception sometimes. Like, how was it? Was it a big difference? Taxi cabs.
We were treated well. We were treated well, and obviously there's things that are missing. The obviously the setup of the rink and things, and we didn't really have a practice rink. We were practicing at the ice den in Scottsdale. It wasn't really retrofitted for hockey, and what's crazy is we had like some fantastic teams and groups of guys, and the training staff and the staff all around there were so good. But it's like, we were all operating within the Hilton on the side of the highway. So it's like you had all of these like great people, great at what they do, and we just didn't have necessarily all the resources because the ownership was always in flux. And then, Morello came in and kind of was the final straw in a sense in terms of what he was doing and cutting corners, and then obviously it's sad because there's a fan base there's a huge fan base there. It's just the rink, when they put the rink in Glendale, they thought the city would kind of grow up with them, and it didn't work. Glendale's now, what's funny is now Glendale in the next like 5 years there's tons of people moving there. They're putting in like these crazy resorts and all this. It's becoming a hot spot to go visit. So it's funny because it's like now it's kind of ready for a team and ready to be there. So I think I'm not saying that it'll never be back. I think they're going to be back. And I think the next ownership group, if they do come back, is obviously because Gary did so much to try to make that work that he's going to make sure that it's like the best ownership group possible.
Yeah, they got to
So,
be solid. Yeah.
so I think if it does come back, it's going to be solid. And it's going to be great. And I do think it will. And in 5 to 10 years, I think it'll be back.
I never really felt bad for them until the other night when Roenick was doing his Hall of Fame speech, and they kept showing Shane Doan when they were talking about Arizona. I feel like that's the one guy who's like, what the
Heart
fuck?
and soul.
Like, how did this, because he was talking about Arizona no longer being there. I'm like, man, it's kind of sad. They're showing Shane Doan. None of the records even went to Utah, so they're keeping them in Arizona, all the player stats and all that. So I hope they get another team, man. I went to Northern Arizona University up in Flagstaff, so
You did
oh yeah,
NAU? Oh, yeah, you did.
oh yeah,
You're up in that high elevation,
oh
baby.
yeah, up in Flagstaff. So I used
I,
to love going down to the games and like watching Roenick and Kachuk and Habby Boone and all those guys back in
Hey,
the
cool
day.
teams.
played some good teams, man.
Yeah, I know, and the fans were into it. They played at America West back
Yeah.
then, which was a shitty place to watch a game too, but it was fun. It was downtown.
Yeah,
So
you look at Delta Center in Utah. It's not fitted for hockey, but those fans are bananas, and
oh
that's
yeah,
how it was kind of in Phoenix. They just when they changed the rink, they thought they were doing it for the fans, but they should have just rebuilt that stadium from the inside out.
Yeah.
I know.
It was a good
Florida,
spot.
Florida too, man. You signed your
Big-
big ticket there.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
were
yeah.
they getting any fans when you were there in Florida?
I was there for the 1 year, and it was the worst possible year of hockey I could ever go through. It was insane what happened. Could write 10 books about what Tom Rowe was doing there, and Dale Talon and him were like at odds, and it was like Vinny Viola's first year, so he didn't really quite know. He was learning on the fly, and he brought in a lot of people, I think, and a lot of advisors that were going against each other, and it just created so much friction. And it obviously Cam knows this, when the organization up top is unsure, it trickles down to the players, and then it was a shit show on the ice. And then guys, we lost Huberto to that Achilles injury. He got his Achilles cut like right away, so he was out. Barkov was hurt for half the year. Ekblad was in and out of injury. Luongo was hurt. We were like, what the? We had like guys coming up from the AHL in our first line. So it was like this crazy year. That was the year Gallant got fired and put into the taxi cab.
Yeah, we had him.
So it was
He's
like,
talked about it.
I couldn't even explain the shit show that was there that year. And to see them now win a cup is like, I was like, well, they're welcome, because I was part of one of the worst seasons that made them realize like, holy shit, we really got to turn this thing around here and just hit the reset button. So they did a great job of Billy Zito coming in and just putting on a masterclass of drafting and guys that they brought in. And I mean, I thought they were going to take a step back this year, and they're even more dominant. They're legit, and it's a great place to play now that the practice rinks down there, the guys rolling in golf carts to practice. They all take their golf carts there. It's like, it's NHL. As Jamal Mayers would say, it's NHL.
Hey, you talk about a team that slots their salaries where they're just set up to win for a long time. I mean, they got Barkov making 10. He should be like a 12 and a half, $13 million player. So everybody else who comes there falls in line under him. Like, no one's going to make more money than him.
Gustav Forsling,
Oh God, I know.
Like that deal. He's a top 5 in the NHL right now as a D man. Like top 5, 10 in the league. Like he's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're well set, man. They do it well.
So how'd you get out of there? Did you ask for a trade, or they traded you? Because I think it was 1 year into your deal, like you said, right?
Yeah, that one's a funny one. Now that I'm out of the game long enough, so it was midsummer that first year, and there's a bunch of shit that went on behind the scenes with me and Dale Talon. We didn't really see eye to eye at all, and I was going through some shit, personally that no one really knew about, but I was, drinking a ton, and I was just not myself. And it got to the off season. I was okay. I was like, okay, clean slate, like, get your shit together. So we were, I was training, and, Dale, they call me like midsummer, and I pick up the phone and it's my agent, and he's like, "Hey, like what's going on?" And I'm like, "What do you mean what's going on?" He's like, "They're they're telling you to accept because I had a 8 team no move, like 8 teams, and they're trying to trade me to Calgary, and they're like, uh, they're telling us that you were doing this during the season, you were doing this, you were coming to practice drunk, which was not the case. Like that was fabricated, but not far off, but it was fabricated. But I was like, that's bullshit. Like they're like, they want you to waive your trade to Calgary so you can go get traded to Calgary. So I was like, yeah, fuck them. Tell Dale Talon, trade me. I'm out of here. So I was supposed to get traded for Hamonic, and ended up falling through. So I was supposed to go to Calgary. Cut to, it doesn't end up working out. Cut to like 3 weeks later, and a month later, and I'm training, and I get a call, and it goes, "Hey, we have a trade to Vancouver. You need to waive." I had Vancouver on my no trade list, so like they need you to waive your contract. And it was right around, I was supposed to get a signing bonus, like $1 million or something, and I was like, okay, well, if I take this trade, how much do I stand to lose in money if I leave? And the trade would have happened, and 2 days later, I was getting my signing bonus, so I knew what they were doing. So I was like, and obviously we have all this history, so. And then this is me being a little bit childish, and I was like, how much do I stand to lose? And they're like, probably like 1/3 of it. And I'm like, well, I'm not. They can trade me after.
Yeah.
They could trade me after, and I got to worry about my family and this and that. So that was on my part a little childish, but the next day I get called into the dressing room, and it's me and Dale Talon going at it, and in the GM's office, him trying to get me to accept the trade. And then I was like, I don't really want to go to Vancouver because I'd be going to the same situation as I'm in here. I'm like, I think we can win here. I think we can do well, and this and that. And he was, we're just nose to nose, screaming at each other, and ends up not happening. And we get to training camp, and I'm like, okay, so I think I'm here for the year. And it's like we have their first practice at training camp, and I'm sitting in the meal room, and Dale Talon walks up, and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "How you feeling?" I said, "Good." He goes, "Clean slate?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dale, like clean slate, like listen, nothing's personal. It's like we'll be good." And I drive home, and as soon as I get into my doorway, I had a bunch of the guys coming over for do like some IV stuff and like just vitamin stuff, and all the guys are sitting in the room, and I get an unknown phone call, and I go, "Hello," and it goes, "Hey, it's Dale Talon. We traded you to Arizona. See ya." And then hangs up the phone, and I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Son of a bitch." I was like, "Son of a bitch." I was like, "Well, I'm going to Arizona, boys." So it was quite literally just like happened that quick. And it was yeah, it just was like, it was a crazy year experience for me. And I'm glad they're winning now, and they won. And but it just wasn't, it was just a lot of personal stuff between me and Dale that now is, for me, is water under the bridge. But it was, yeah, it was a crazy year, man. Nuts.
But when they came in, they're like, "You're drinking too much. You're doing that." Like, how'd they know that? Was somebody like the one of the trainers rat you out, or was it just
No,
maybe you were
they
late a
just
couple
had
times?
they just had assumptions, and they were assuming, and had heard maybe through the grapevine, and through something, that I was maybe partaking in certain things. And I don't know, I don't know who
Yeah,
got the word, and I never knew. I always heard rumblings and tried to figure it out, but it was always a frustrating thing, because I was like, you never caught me. So even though I was, and not that I never missed a practice, never missed anything
yeah.
like that, and was always practicing hard. So I was like, so what's the deal? And then I think it was just trying to get me to waive my new move to get out of there, and pissed me off a notch, because I always have that conversation with people. They're like, well, the guy doesn't want to waive his no move. Like, he doesn't have to leave. I'm like, if a team wants to make you uncomfortable,
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
make you uncomfortable coming from experience. They'll make you want to leave, because it's just, like, make no bones about it. Like, a guy that's not moving his no move, if they want you to make, if the team wants to make you uncomfortable enough to waive your no move, you'll waive it to get out of there. So they did enough, and it worked. But then I ended up, it just, all the deals ended up falling through. So I could have been in Calgary, and could have been in Van. And then for years after, just to put a ball, for years after, like, Vancouver I tried to like go sign in Vancouver near the end of my career, and the ownership in there was like, he didn't want to come before, like screw him. And I was like, you guys have no idea what was going on. Like I'm like fighting for my life over here, and it wasn't anything personal against them. So even like the fan base now, when anytime I talk about Vancouver, they're like, screw him, he didn't want to come here anyway. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to make it work for my family.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Hey, I hope this isn't like crossing the line or whatever, but one of your teammates told me they called you the wrestler in Arizona. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm asking you anyway, so hopefully it's not too bad.
That's
Who you
Clayton
wrestling?
Keller, if I ever knew that one.
Ah,
I got the St. Louis boy, the wrestler.
how are you gonna call him out like that?
He would be the ultimate wrestler, but yeah, he's a funny kid, man. He's like he's older now, but I look at him like my son coming up, and I love watching him, and I root for him every time I see him on the ice because he's such a good kid. And if you know him at all, obviously, like
Oh
he's
yeah.
just such a good dude and
Oh yeah.
such a competitor, and has got a little old school in him. So I always like root for him, and I love that they gave him the C out there, and he's now kind of running his own team, clean slate. And I mean, they're a dangerous team too right now, Utah,
Mhm.
big time.
Fast.
Yeah, no, he loves you, man. See, that's why it's good to be good to
He's
those young
cool.
kids because they never forget it when
Yep.
they come into the league. Like, what veterans were nice to them? You know what I mean?
Yep.
But Cam, you can talk to this too. Like that's because I had great veterans that were good to me. Like it wasn't just something like I had guys that took care of me. Like, you talk about the teams I had in San Jose, like, Joe Thornton, Dan Boyle, Ryan Clough, the Setaguchi, Mitchell, Joe Pavelski. And Joe was like kind of young when I came in too. So we were kind of on the up and up. But Evgeny Nabokov. I mean, the list goes on of how many guys I had that I wouldn't be where I was if I wasn't with them. Like I just did a show with Jody Shelley. Like
Oh yeah.
Jody Shelley, I was like a rambunctious kid coming in, and if I didn't have those guys, it turns into like a Buffalo or an Ottawa where the inmates are running the asylum. And Cam could tell you that when you need those culture veteran guys because you need guys to learn from them to then keep the culture and keep the history going because otherwise you lose that and then you don't know what it is to be a team. So it's like I tried to instill that into the guys that were in Arizona when I was there because I was so lucky to have that, man. And it's like I feel bad for guys that don't get that in the league because you're missing such an important part and such a cool part of being in the NHL is and Cam, you probably heard this around the room, but it's like living the NHL life is as big is as important as playing in the NHL. Like you got to enjoy that for guys that don't get to never get to play that would, you know, cut off their arm to be in the NHL. Like you have to enjoy that and squeeze all the juice out of it. You also have to compete and win and everything. And that's the important thing. But that goes hand in hand with like building a good culture. And that's what makes guys want to come to teams. And that's what makes an organization good is that you build that culture. You could see the ones that are constantly repeating themselves with is they've have this culture instilled in them and they're just year after year because it's the veterans passed down to the rookies and then the rookies become the core and then that core brings in another set of rookies and that's how it goes and it only takes one bad generation or one missed window to lose that and then you got to rebuild it from scratch like it's so hard to keep that it's such a hard ecosystem to keep strong and it's gone like that and it takes years to build up so that's
That's
why
why I always say too, man. Like when you're a young kid, instead of hanging out with the other young kid on the team, like try to hang out with the older guys. You learn a lot more, man. You know what's going on. You hear all the internal stuff. They'll take care of shit for you. You know, I see these kids that just hang out. All the young kids hang out with each other. I was like, no, I want to hang out with the older guys as much
and
as
that's all
possible.
and that's also on the old guys too
Right.
because like I had old guys that would grab me and be like you're coming to dinner with me like I remember my first game to Madison Square Garden it's funny because we're doing the game tonight and they asked me like what's your first story and I was trying to think of it and I was like it was, Danny Heatley and Rob Blake inviting me to STK the night before the game, and there's bottles of wine on the table, and they pour me a glass of wine and they say, if you have a fucking bad game, we're gonna kill you tomorrow. Make sure you're dialed in and you can like hang out with us. And I sat, and I think I was with Jody Shelley too, and they had the Trailer Park Boys there. And I was sitting with Bubbles and Ricky, and we were having drinks. And it was like, I was like, went home, and I'm like, oh my, I don't even know if I remember the game. I played at Madison Square Garden. I remembered that dinner and you learned in that moment of how many stories these guys have, and they're talking about who they learned from. So it's always important. So what you said, Cam, is like young guys seek out the old guys, but old guys as well. Like grab a kid, man. Like grab a 21-year-old. Like a lot of these kids are so nervous to stay in the league, and it's such a hard league to stay in that it's like bring them out to dinner, and whether it's a one-on-one, like I love to grab a guy in the road and just be like, let's go for this little cool little restaurant down the street. Just me and you will sit, have a dinner if you want, or come over to dinner when we're at home. Like we'll come have a bottle of wine, we'll drink some wine. And so you never want to lose that, because I feel like that's what's so unique to the NHL. And you kind of see it in certain places leaving, and you don't want that to leave, because that's what makes the NHL, I think, so cool and so approachable as a sport, really.
Yeah. Hey, a couple more things, man. You've been
you're
great.
awesome,
We appreciate
dude.
it. You play with so many great players, dude.
Yeah.
I just can't go down the line and ask you about all of them. I love how you play with Danny Heatley, though, man.
Yeah, I forgot about
He was
that.
so fucking good.
Heater.
He was so good.
He's an enigma, man.
And-
We're gonna talk to him.
And Rob Blake too. I mean, like just a true legend. But people will give a shit. Give me one good Jumbo story. You got a Jumbo story. I feel like he's just like a big kid. You know what I mean? Like and Brent Burns and these guys, man. That team was so cool when you were in Columbus or in San Jose, dude. You guys had so many great characters.
Man, I just had dinner with the trainers, and that's the other thing for young guys. And if I don't know, how many young guys in the league listen to your podcast, but take the trainers out to dinner. That's the biggest thing that I think is being lost in the NHL is we had to, when I came in the league, the vets were like, you got to pick one road trip where you're taking out the trainers to dinner and you're buying dinner, and not just to do it because all the shit they do, but they have the best stories and they've been there forever, and they know more about culture than people ever talk about. So like, I sat at dinner last night with Mikey Aldrich and our new foes, the massage therapist who was here when I was here, and Mike Potenza, and then one of the new trainers here that I hadn't met, and we just sat 2 hours and told stories about all the teams that we had back then, and they're talking about guys that they had, and man, they're the best judge of character, because how you treat the trainers is how you kind of are as a guy in my eyes. And but yeah, Jumbo story I had, man, there's so many.
I know.
I just interviewed him for his jersey retirement, and that was a pretty cool experience for me to sit with his family. But I mean, my favorite one was one of my first road trips in the NHL. I think we're in Columbus. It might have been Columbus or Denver, and I'm sitting in the hotel room. It's like after practice, and Jumbo, I get a knock on my door, and I open the door, and it's Joe Thornton. What's up, Joe? And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm just, just hanging out. And he goes, all right, let's order some lunch. I said, okay. So he goes, order some room service. And he said, I'll have this. And I said, okay. And he goes, what? Let's rent a movie. So he rents the Hurt Locker, and proceeds to get underneath my covers and takes a nap for the whole Hurt Locker movie. And then the food comes up. He doesn't eat any of the food until the end of the movie. He wakes up, eats the food, takes a big shit in my bathroom, and then leaves and says, thanks, bud. And then takes off. That, bud, hey, good time, bud. See ya. And then leave. And I'm like sitting there in the room, like,
that's great, man.
Joe Thornton just bought and I look at, I'm a young kid, my first year in the league, and I'm like, I can't ask Joe Thornton to pay for this, because I'm like, I just gotta like pick up the tabs. I'm looking at like I'm leaving the hotel, and it's like, a $300 room service charge. And I'm like, God damn it. And I'm like, you just pay it. But he would just like do shit like that like I can't even explain. But I mean, he's one of the only guys in the NHL that when they changed the rule where you could get your own room, he kept a roommate because he wanted to be with a young guy. And people go, oh, it was because he wanted to be with like he wanted to instill all of his veteran experience into these young guys. No, it's because he wanted to be with just have a roommate because he loved it. He loved having a fucking roommate on the road. So you have a Hall of Famer with like Jamie McGinn, who's like on the up and up, and that's his roommate but all the other veterans had their own room, but he just wanted to have a roommate and wanted to have a kid in the room with him, which is like that's Joe. It's I don't even I'm sure you ask everybody, but that one always stood out to me because it was my first like road trip, and I just was like, he ordered the Hurt Locker, and I had to sit there in bed on top of the covers while he took a nap, and with all the lights off in the room, and I'm like, okay, here's Joe next to me, and I'm watching this movie, like I'm like, what? I'm like, if I tell anybody this, no one's gonna believe me. Like, there's like a burger and steak sitting up there, and then he just gets up and eats it, and goes, oh, how's it? Okay, but yeah, see, it takes a shit with the door open, and then leaves.
And you paid for it.
You paid for it. And you paid for it. Yeah.
He's probably the only veteran guy that would want a roommate, unless there's more. I don't know how many are like that. That would want a roommate.
Not too many.
Hey, last thing for you. Is there a story behind you playing your 700th game and like Edmonton bringing you up? And how appreciative are you that they gave you that chance? Was that talked about before when you signed? And I know you were on a two-way playing in the minors there at the end of your career. Like, did you think that you were going to get that chance?
Well, yeah, I mean, I that was a 2-year process, so that game was 2 years in the making. I mean, my 699th game. Well, so the 3 games that season, my last season in Arizona, again, it became a running theme, and there was a lot of shit that was half me or two-thirds my fault. But me and Rick Taka didn't really see eye to eye near the end of my career, and we were getting into a lot of fights and personal stuff, and it's all fine now. And I could see the end of the tunnel. I had a lot of injuries. I could see it, and I didn't want to get there. And I was so nervous to be out of the league. And so I was doing everything I could, and it came out in a bad way, and I lashed out. And I got to, I think there's like 3 games left in the season, and I was at 698, and I called Phil Housley into the room, and I said, hey, I said, he was our D coach, and I said, listen, I know it's been awful, and I've said some awful things, and you guys have said some awful things, and it's been a shit year. And I said, I just want to get to 700 because I said, I think I'm done. Like, I think that's it. Like, mentally, I'm finished. I don't have anything left to give. And I said, I just, I'm so over the business of it. So they ended up giving me one of the 3. I ended up the last game of the season, which was in San Jose, they scratched me for, and it was 699. So I was like even more irate, and I was like, mother, this and that, and woe is me. And it's not, I was blaming everybody else, but I had a hand in it. So the whole summer I went and trained and like got into the best shape I had in my career, like out of spite and out of like revenge and all the worst things. And 2 weeks before training camp, I'm having a night out with friends and just having a dinner and a couple of drinks, and I go to say bye to a friend of mine and turn around to hug him, and as I hug him, I blow my back out. Just completely, my L5 disc just exploded out of my back. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I didn't, at that point, I didn't have a call. No one was calling. So I was like, I was reserving the right. I was probably going to be on a PTO, but I was like, I'm in such great shape. I've never been faster. I've never been, more, didn't touch any booze, was like completely ready to go. And up until that night where I kind of like had 1 or 2 and was like, oh, I'm feeling good. It's about the season. So I ended up blowing my back out, having to get surgery on it on my own. So I got it on my own dime and said, what am I going to do here? Because I was like, I lost all feeling in my leg. And I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to be skate again. So I got surgery in Philly on my own. And then I was like 3 weeks into training and rehabbing, and Team Canada called, and they were like, hey, the COVID year, it was kind of post-COVID year, and they were like, we're not sure if the NHL is going to let guys go to China, to Beijing. So we're building like a secondary team. And I was like 70%. And I was like, yeah, I'll come. And they're like, okay, are you healthy? I'm like, yeah, I'm healthy. And I had like 2 months till this like tournament in Russia, which was like a pre-tournament, was the Summit Series or something. And I trained my ass off to that, skated, didn't have anyone to skate with. So I was skating in men's league in Phoenix.
Oh,
And
how many points did you put up in men's league? Did you dominate?
Until they got mad at you.
It was good. Yeah, they got mad at me, and I passed a lot of assists.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I get over to Moscow, and I haven't done a battle drill, haven't done a practice, like, and I'm fresh off back, 3-4 months off back surgery, and end up playing in the tournament, and I do good, and listen, I was in shape and ready, and it was just more of the timing. So they were like, "Hey, we want you to go play in Europe somewhere." So I ended up signing in Kazan, Russia for 4 months. And this story, like, if I told this story in detail, it's like a 3-hour story, but I'm giving you the paraphrase version. But I went to Russia for 4 months, ended up going to the Olympics, played in the Olympics for Team Canada, which was incredible and so much fun. And we were out in Beijing, and then I came back. The war broke out. We had like our playoffs. We played playoffs. I had to fly out of there right away through Istanbul because they're shutting down all the flights. Then that summer, I was back in April, trained all summer and called every team and begged them. I called a couple teams. I called Buffalo for a PTO. Then I called Jay Woodcroft in Edmonton, and I said, just give me a chance, give me a look. And they gave me a look in PTO. I thought I did enough to make the team. It was kind of their cap strapped. They said, go play your PTO in the minors. And then I lived in a hotel for 8 months that year until the 700th game. And I played on a PTO for 3 months. They signed me for that year and then said they were going to think about bringing me up. Brought me up with like 3 games left. I was on, I had 2 concussions that year that I played with because I was scared if I told them I was hurt, I'd get sent back. And then I played on a high ankle sprain in my 700th game that I had to come back from like 3 weeks early because I was like, I won't get it. And then they were kind enough to give it to me in San Jose. So I got to do my 700th game in San Jose. They gave me a video, a tribute video, pretty much. That was my 700th game, and it was like my whole family was there, my wife, all that. So it was a cool end. So I got to the hotel after that, and I was like, looked at my mom, and I was like, that's it.
It's over.
Like, fucking done. Like I could go do it again, and I had some offers, but I'm like, that was like a 2 year of like gripping the steering wheel, and then you finally kind of get to the end, and it was just like I was like, and that's it. See you later. Let's get into broadcasting. But
no shit.
Yeah, so that's
wow, man.
Crazy. Yeah, it was a fun 2 years.
God,
700 looks better than 699.
Yeah, it does.
It does, eh? But 69, yeah. But I mean, 699, it could have been pretty epic.
I love how you got scratched in San Jose.
Yeah.
When you were at 699, and then you end up playing 700 in San Jose.
It all worked out, man.
That's right.
You had to grind in the fucking minors, though, and that ain't easy.
No, I mean, I started in the minors and I ended in the minors. So, it's the journey is the destination. Yep. So it's the whole, I don't have any bitterness of anything to anybody, any guy I play with. Now it's just funny to tell these stories because I was like, what a crazy, how much shit you go through in your career, and sometimes anger you hold on, and you're just like, we're playing a game. It's crazy how the business side of it is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
You tell your kids, I played with McDavid. Like you could have 1,000 McDavid stories.
Yeah.
Well, I could. I played with him for one game, and then I had my 700th, and he broke like all those records that year. So we get into the room after the game, and they're like bringing him a cake, and then I'm like, "Thanks for taking my spotlight, Connor."
Always him, man.
I love it. I love
Shit,
it.
dude.
Hey, all the best. Keep
All
up the
the
great
best.
work, man.
You're doing a damn good job, man.
I never reach out to people when I see them, like broadcasters, really, former players and stuff. But I gave you a shout out one time on Twitter. The first time I saw you, you and Rupper, who's been on with us.
Yeah.
You bring a different perspective. I like that from a former player.
Yeah, man.
So keep doing what you're doing.
Just trying to humanize all of us, right?
That's it, baby. That's it.
All the best, man.
Cool. We'll be watching. See you,
Take
buddy.
care.
Right on.
Take care. Thank you, guys.
See you, man. The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. Behlmann. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy,
Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. Hope you enjoyed Jason Demers. Oh, what are you doing?
I gotta put clear eyes on.
You need that before you go back on camera, or?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Does that help you see?
Is that
better?
okay? You start early. Just wait for me.
Just wait for me.
You know, it's all good. I don't hide anything from these people.
Yoink.
It's my people right here, dude. We're pretty honest with everything.
Yes, we are.
You know, besides you, baby.
I feel like I answered the question honestly.
Fucking baby. You wimped out on that so bad. And
Hey.
I was really curious to see where you stand on things like that.
I know.
But you're like, I'm tiptoeing. Like, what the fuck?
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Do you know, it's funny, I thought about it when Ryan Reaves got suspended for 5 games. You know his first suspension that he ever got? 2016. He got a 3-game suspension for hitting that Tennyson.
Oh, in 16?
2016. And Ryan and I were at Matthew Dickey's. It's a historic boys and girls club here in St. Louis.
Yeah, they do a lot of good work for inner city.
And I was doing a sit down with him. You know, the Blues had put in like an outdoor rink. They donated some equipment and stuff. So we had been doing some stuff out there at Matthew's Dickey. And the NHL Network asked if we would do a sit down for Black History Month. And I said, well, let's do it at Matthew's Dickey. What better place to do it? Now you got the rink. We can do some stuff on the rink. We can do some stuff inside this historic boys and girls club. And the night before, he had the incident on the ice. I think he hit him from behind or did something. And so we had a hearing that day. We're doing the interview. During the interview, Doug Armstrong called him to said, hey, yeah, you got 3 games. You're going to be suspended 3 games. So it was kind of interesting to see it live, like him find out, and then have to like put the phone away and then continue and pick up the interview. Well, you think that'd be hard to do?
I got jammed up one time when I hit Matt Bradley bad. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And oh boy, wanted to fight me up in the press box. Jason Chimera.
Yes, he did.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That night it was Olympic break, so I had my girlfriend from Jersey in town, and we're partying at like one of those clubs on Washington Avenue.
Washington.
And Larry Plow called me. I'm like, what's up? I didn't know it was him.
Oh God!
I swear to God, I thought it was Travis.
You
or something.
answered it at the club.
I go, what's up?
No.
He goes, Cam, this is Larry. I go,
oh my God.
Stupid.
Cam,
It's just so dumb.
That is so bad.
Andy, it's stupid.
If a kid told you today they did the same thing, you'd be
so
like,
mad
you're
at
a
him.
fucking idiot.
I'd be so fucking mad at him. But I'm like, I ran out. I go, hey, he goes, hey, you got 5 games. I'm like, I go, hey, by the way, he's like, hey, good luck with the speech in front of all the police officers. The next day I had a speech in front of all the St. Louis County
What I
police.
just did?
No, it was a speech I had to give in a big event that they had. But Larry's like the coolest guy in the world.
Larry was amazing.
I'm sorry. If that was Army, he'd fucking kill me. Larry was just like, he's just cool. It's not wrong for me to be at a club.
Yeah, it is.
No, because
to
we won
answer
that.
the phone and say
didn't mean
what's
that.
up.
100%.
How you answer the phone when your GM calls, that is not okay.
That's a stupid thing to do. Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But being out and about, I was with a bunch of guys too, is not bad because we had like 8 days off.
Oh.
Because of the Olympic break.
God, so you didn't play for a long time.
A long time. And I went on a trip. Oh, God. Yeah.
Spent all your money.
No, I didn't pay for that one.
Of course not.
Yacht trip.
Of course not.
It was too expensive.
This guy.
No, I get invited to places. It's all good.
It's okay, yeah.
So do you.
Yeah,
Who are you
yeah.
kidding? You do too. Well, no, I can't. If people want to invite you because you're fun to hang with, like, hell, sometimes you got to go. You do the same thing.
If I had...
You do the same thing.
Yes, I
Don't
do.
play that game with me.
Okay, fine.
We all do. It's all good. Everybody does. You know?
Mm-hmm.
There's some wealthy guys out there that are cool, and they want to hang out with other cool cats.
Not to change the subject, Cam, but I've been dealing with a severe case of elbow tendonitis. Like it feels like someone's tying like a rubber band around my elbow.
From what?
Dude, I think
Did
it's
you
from
fall?
hockey. I think it's from hockey, but
You haven't played hockey in a
it
while.
hurts. I'm on the ice all the time, like pushing pucks and stuff like that, and jumping in drills.
Stuff.
And it's just making it worse and worse and worse. And so I played in that charity game. That's when it first started hurting, and it's been hurting so bad since August, dude. It won't go away. What can I do for it? Have you ever had anything like this?
No. You know what's funny? I would go like pill hopping back in the day.
Oh my God.
No, hear me out. And some of my buddies that were addicted to painkillers too would be the guy to go doctor shopping to get pills.
Yeah.
And so you'd have to go in there and you'd be like, hey, bro, this is hurt. This is that. I want to get painkillers so we all could get out of this fucking hellhole we're in. And some of my buddies would go and they'd get a fucking they'd be like, I got this. I just need pills. Like, no, you need one of those. What are those shots?
Injections, cortisone.
Cortisone shots. And they'd be like, no, I need pills. And the doctor would be like, no, if it's that bad, we're going to inject you with a cortisone shot. And they get fucking injected. And they come back, like, what happened? Yeah, I just got injected for no reason. And all of a sudden,
For no reason?
Yeah, because they're faking.
Because they're lying.
Yeah.
And you can't say, no, I don't want the shot. I just don't want that in my body. You can't say
That's
that.
how pathetic that is. Just so you know.
Well, that's karma.
I know.
I think, isn't it?
It all coexists.
It all coexists.
Yeah.
Like you come in, you want
just
something.
Embarrassing.
So,
you know.
I mean, but I'm in so much pain though, Cam.
I don't know. Andy, get a goddamn cortisone shot.
Somebody help me.
You're fine.
Yeah, but is that going to heal it or is that just going to make the pain go away?
You don't have to do anything with your arm.
It goes all the way down into my hands.
Go get a talk. Somebody go talk to Murph or something. There's something. It's all good, man. My body goes through that shit left and right with different things. It goes away. It's fine. Just you're not beating your body up, dude.
I'm in a lot of pain.
You held a mic and you talk about things and it's all good. We both don't. Our bodies are good now, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not getting rocked here and there with anything. We're not digging shit out.
Well,
I went and did a fucking thing for the little show that I do, Conversations, and I went with some plumbers and we dug out all kinds of stuff like blah. And he had to bring in machinery, like cook it together. Guy had to dig a 10-foot hole. He's down there like, there's sewage coming out. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't know if
all
I
that
would
shit.
be able to do that.
I'm sitting there
now.
like fucking trying to film. They're filming me like by them, like God, this is a normal day for them. It's a normal day. Shit's flying everywhere, blah, digging things out. Look at you, pussy.
Oh, dude.
No, I'm saying it.
That's bullying.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, you're bullying.
No, but you're being one.
Dude,
I didn't mean. I didn't say you
right
are.
Here, it's like painful.
I don't want
to
be a
touch,
bully.
To the touch.
See, that's a pussy. Fuck that. People are gonna chirp you for that, dude. These guys are fucking grinding it.
These guys
we're
who
pussy.
have had it.
I'll say I'm a pussy.
You ever had tennis elbow?
I'm a pussy.
You ever had tennis elbow?
I'm a princess now. I'm reaching out to them. When you do that stuff, they're like, what the fuck is that? They're digging ditches, dude.
I'm just
Shit
telling
kickers.
you. What'd you like about Jason Demers in that interview?
Actually, he's really cool.
Great stories.
God, he threw me on the French thing. I don't know. Am I going to get jammed up on that? Jesus. He's like, Cam, I'm a French. I didn't tell anybody because I had a bad reputation. Remember, right? Cam,
Cam's
right?
like, yeah.
Right? I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to admit it, but I did anyway. I'm like, yeah, they did have a weird reputation.
I told that story about a former coach. I asked you, I'm like, I feel bad telling that, but it's okay.
Say it. Well, whatever, don't say it.
No, I won't say who the coach is. But I can pass that along. Stuff like that goes on, man. There's no doubt.
Does. I don't know about it anymore, maybe.
We had
back in the day it did, for sure.
Josie Theodore came on, made some interesting
Native Americans had weird Americans did.
Jews.
Yeah, they got chirped. I mean, like everybody got chirped, you know. It's
Why'd you have
hardcore.
to think twice about that?
I mean, too many Jewish guys. Maybe there are. He was Jewish. He didn't even know.
We didn't talk to him about that.
Yeah. I played against a couple Jewish hockey players.
Who didn't know
really
they were
good.
Jewish?
No, you just know by the last name.
Like who?
Himmelfarb. Who's badass. Played for Sarnia. Cool guy.
Who in the NHL? You don't even know if he was Jewish, by the way.
I think he was.
You know
I think
who
guys
was?
chirped him.
You know who was? There's a lot of Jews in the. There's actually a Twitter account you can follow Jewish NHL players.
You follow it?
And I don't know if I do or not. I'm gonna look it right up.
God, I'm thirsty, Maddie. You got water in there? God,
there's a lot of Jews in the game today.
Water real quick. Sorry.
And Jesse Pollock, I think he runs Bar Down.
Yeah. I know.
He just did a whole thing on the
Thanks,
Pittsburgh
Maddie.
Penguins.
Love you, buddy.
had a Jewish heritage night. No, thank you, Maddie. I'm good. Thank you. No, I'm okay.
Maddie's the
Maddie,
best,
I'm good.
Maddie's the best.
I'm okay, Maddie.
And he might have to edit some shit out.
Yeah,
You're the man, dude.
Yeah, Maddie's the greatest, dude.
I'm gonna buy you GTA goddamn 6 when it comes out, homeboy.
No, nobody wants that.
I'm gonna buy 2 of those goddamn, and I'm gonna play with you, dude. You fucking A right.
Hey, Ty wants a second.
We have a thing going on
for his PS5. He only has one controller, but I don't want a second one because he's gonna try to make me play with him all the time. And
dude, it's fun. It's fucking fun, dude.
He wants a custom one.
If he wants to play anytime, anywhere, I'd play with him, dude.
Okay, dude.
Yeah, dang right. I'd play in the basement, ripping pucks. Wes, my neighbor, wants to rip pucks. His kids are about 2 years old. I'm like, I can't wait till he starts shooting pucks.
Yeah.
Like, I can go in there and rip pucks with you.
We'll come over and shoot some pucks and play some video games.
I miss you. I don't have any spot in my house where I can rip pucks. I guess I can make some spots, but I'm gonna have him do it. I'll give his son some 1-2s.
At Jewish Hockey, that is the Jacob Chikrin.
Oh, cool.
Mike Levin. Oh, he's an OHL player.
I think,
which is still cool.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's all good. We don't have to go through.
No, I'm just looking for some.
And Himmelfarb might not even been a Jew. He was a cool cat. I don't know. Cares.
There's a bunch of
we love everybody.
Guys. I mean, there's a whole list of NHL players, though.
Anyway,
I wish I had that list for you.
Let's go.
I just wish I had
what else
that
you got?
list. But he didn't even know he was Jewish, which is amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know.
He also did not want to tell people he was French either. So maybe he held that too. I don't know. You might as well just tell people you're French.
I would tell people.
It wasn't that much of a stereotype. At least I didn't notice. You know.
Matthew Schneider is one for sure.
Okay.
Did I say that already?
Yeah, Andy. I don't think anybody cares.
Okay, but I'm trying to
seriously.
Find,
like, what are we doing?
A whole. Remember Josh Levin? Maybe. Jake Wallman is.
Jakey boy.
He had an assist the other night. Macklin Celebrini. We talk a lot about him here with Jason Demers too, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Yeah. Jason, keep doing what you're doing, man. Doing great work.
Love you, man. You're doing damn good work.
And everything you're doing with the Sharks as well. The Sharks are going to be cool in a couple of years.
I agree.
I don't know if they'll be as cool as the Ducks or not. We need Zegras to get scoring again. He just scored a goal the other day. When he scores, you realize how few and far between those goals come.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of been slow this year.
I think I needed to get him out of Anaheim. I think that's part of the issue.
Oh, okay. What's wrong with Anaheim? Like, is it too much? Too hard on him? Like what?
I'm just
like
saying.
It's pretty. Like you could focus if you want to be able to focus as a superstar. Like Anaheim's probably the easiest thing to do. Okay. No one's bugging you. Like, you're not getting up. Like not too many people tweeting on you. Now people do tweet, and social media is always gonna be a thing. And they have been ragging on Trevor Zegras a little bit.
Yeah, they have a little bit.
They have. So you can't hide from everything, but get him out of there.
Okay.
Like, who cares, man? He's got some young talent there. Figure it out.
Again, Bolt Sports, man. New sponsor on board with us, and this is incredible for any hockey kid out there and the parents who want to keep their kid occupied but keep them off of the iPad.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Where they're playing Roblox all day. And they're chatting
be outside,
with someone. You don't even know who they're chatting with.
I know. Because I'd be weird if I was that age. Are you kidding?
Oh,
and all you out there.
You stop scaring everyone out there.
You guys know exactly my age. If we had that access, what would you do? Exactly. Just look in the mirror.
Okay.
Who you kidding? Andy, too. And you. I'm telling you. You know.
Cam's like, what do you think if your daughter was a ring girl? You didn't give me an answer.
You didn't play that well. I might have to edit some of that out.
Don't
because you didn't play. No, because you had
people, it was
like you
fine.
brought nothing to the table there. Like I was genuinely asking. That's like, is that not? I can't ask that question.
And I answered
as a girl dad.
I said I don't want them to be doing prostitution.
No one asked you that.
Stripping.
No one asked you that. But very provocative.
OnlyFans accounts.
Very well. She's probably getting. People are probably
how much
throwing
are they
her
offering
tons
her,
of money for
How much
that.
are they offering her for that?
I don't know.
Now
she's making good
I
money.
would maybe become the agent and start taking some money.
Yeah, if I
would do these deals.
If I'm him, I'm like, what kind of deals are you doing? Like,
because I'm negotiating the deals for you.
Yeah, there it is.
And
there's the answer I want.
So you want to do
There's the answer I want.
I'm negotiating the deals.
There you go.
And the price is going up.
You goddamn right.
And
now I know
we're all
who
making money.
Now I know who you're dealing with.
Correct.
Let me be the agent.
And I may end up going with her to some of these, although she probably wouldn't want me doing that.
No.
But I'd hire
I'd
her security team.
Yeah, there it is.
And
We got to have security. You got to have people watching you.
Be
Just
firing your security because they're trying to like
hit on our toe.
Oh my God, you can't trust anybody in this business.
I know.
Bolt Sports, you can trust them.
You dang right.
Shout out Sammy and Francois.
Sammy, what's up? Francois, what's up, baby? Let's go.
Hey, man, listen. Official training partner of the Dallas Stars Youth Hockey, by the way, in Dallas, and more programs to come. If you're a hockey program out there, get hooked up with Bolt Sports. Allow them to become the official training partner. Take your game to the next level with these e-cones, these electronic cones. Oh, baby. I don't even know how to like continue to talk about them, Cam. Yeah. But it keeps track of your speed and your agility and your scores. You know if you're getting quicker and faster, what you need to be able to get. Kids are like, how do I skate faster? Well, you got to train for it. This is how you do it.
You guys have all the options you want. Like these parents, like your kids have a bunch of options.
I love the dangles though, and it glows up into different colors. They got the snipes, the different targets.
You can't be on the ice all the time working on stuff. You got to do it in your basement. You got to
do it at home.
You got to do it in your garage.
Are you committed or are you not committed?
I did it. We figured out we're doing it with around brooms and stuff.
Are you truly in? You know, or do you say you're in?
Exactly. You know, oh well, he likes it, but he doesn't want to. Okay. I hear that all the time. He likes it, but he doesn't do. Okay.
The coach didn't know what he was talking about.
The coach. He hurt his elbow. Everybody's elbow's hurt.
No, mine is.
You know,
mine is. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link and take your life to the next level. Take your life to the next level. Take your life and your lifestyle to a level you never thought you could take it to.
There it is.
You never thought you could even get there.
Well, how about your kid,
in your wildest imaginations, you never thought, hey, I can be this happy. I can be this healthy. I can live this type of life. God, my.
You're what?
My motivational speaking is getting better.
Oh, I'd be like, Arr!
You ready to run through a wall? You ready to run through a wall?
Yeah.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Run through a wall.
I'll do it for Nicky boy. I'll do it for some of the first
run through a wall.
You're damn right. The way they're on the app and stuff like that.
Illinois Recovery Center.
They'll help you.
They'll run through a wall for you.
Yeah, they will. They're just going to help you. You know, you need help. All right, it is what it is. And you know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And you know somebody that knows. Just get them help. Illinois Recovery Center right there in Swansea, Illinois.
IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Message us. We'll get you in touch with the right people.
Love all you guys. Let me know.
Hatlaunch.com.
Social media.
America's #1 source for customized hats. Nobody does hats better. They say there's other companies that do hats. No one does a hat like this. This is the best hat I've ever seen. Hey, best hats we've ever seen. Yes. Hat Launch.
I'm not starting that. They are. The NFL guys.
Even the Jones guy, who's
UFC guys all love him. Now all the football players
they're all doing it.
You know.
I didn't know that was the Trump dance they were doing.
That's what they're doing.
Do you think that means you support him or no?
I would say probably.
I don't know.
They used to hate him. Now they're like, wait, what?
You know. What was Trump doing that too? What was it?
He just comes out to his... He's fucking hilarious, dude. It is what it is. Now he's psycho.
Hatlaunch.com.
With crazy shit. Like, don't get me wrong. He says stupid, but he's fucking hilarious.
SparksHockey.com.
It is what it is.
You want to get your dad something that he really needs. And Cam and I, listen, at the event we were at, we got a lot of women listeners. I will say a lot of women fans.
Women.
and I love all of them.
Of course. They're cool as hell.
SparksHockey.com.
Any girl that listens to our humor and they get it, I love it.
Yes.
You know.
Get him a skate sharpener. You save so much money. Go down to your basement and get this skate sharpening done. It's truly incredible. SparksHockey.com. Use our promo code Cam and Strick. Will save you more money than Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which is coming up, by the way. Black Friday is coming up. Proper Cannabis. Use our promo code Cam and Strick 20. It'll save you 20%, Cam. What were you just thinking about? You were having like a moment there.
Well, I'm just letting you do your thing, baby.
Cam and Strick 20. Proper Cannabis.
Chicken noodle soup all weekend.
It has nothing to do with it.
I got my mind right.
Okay.
And I took my time. Sometimes you just do that.
I'm like,
I'm just going to get my mind right. Okay. And I'm going to go. I went to Demers.
I like that.
And I got all kinds of stuff. And I made it from scratch. Yes. And it was dang good.
Hey, Blue Note Roofing, man. Our boy. Come on now, David. This is one of the best people I've ever met in our entire time doing this, Cam. In terms of self-made, American dream, being able to truly like become something and starting on
The
your
American
own,
dream?
is that like a
Hell
great?
yeah.
Is that a great feeling?
Yeah, it's the American dream. Dang right. You know.
Look for that yellow truck, man, with blue notes all over it. 314-920-5713. David Novak, baby. Say what's up to David.
David, what up, baby? Let's go.
314-920-5713, baby. Hey, any type of roofing needs you may have, gutters, soffit, fascia.
Fascia.
I had someone reach out to me and said every time, he's in the construction business, he said every time he has to say fascia, he thinks of you saying fascia.
That's what I do to people.
Gutters.
Gutter. You know, I don't want to do that
Windows.
because they're going to be like, people are going to be like, oh, whoa.
Windows.
Winders. Dude, windows are, fuck, man. You got to get a good deal. Like, people will rip you off. On
Gutters, man.
God dang.
You know what I'm having put on my gutters today?
What?
Christmas lights.
Oh, yeah.
'Tis the season.
I got all that. Kate's loading
No,
up.
you're putting her on the roof.
No. We
You
don't even
putting her
we
on the
don't
roof?
we don't even need to do that. We do outside stuff and then inside, all
Mhm.
inside, because no one's even like kind of yeah.
That'd be a great company to have. A lot of landscapers do that.
You
But
know.
no one does roofing better than David Novak. Nobody.
call
There's a
him
lot
today,
of great
actually.
roofers
There's a
out there.
couple things-
Nobody does roofing better than David Novak. 314-920-5713. Look it up. Blue Note Roofing, baby. He'll talk pucks with you too. Stand up guy. We'll take care of you. Blue Note Roofing. Bench Clears, benchclears.com. Get one of these tanks, man. Get a hoodie, get a Sherpa.
This one's
blanket.
really cool looking.
Well, that's Ottawa Senators, Cam. That's their dark jersey.
I know, I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good jersey,
It's
huh?
a cool jersey. It is. I like it.
Give me your top 5 jerseys in the league. I mean, if it's going to take 20 minutes, we'll do it next time.
You know, I like the Devils because it's just a cool name,
Okay.
and it's just
Mhm,
badass.
mhm.
I like Chicago.
Yeah.
I like St. Louis Star jerseys.
Mhm.
I like the Seattle Kraken away jerseys. I think
Okay.
that's cool. I don't know, people
Okay.
chirp. I
That's
like it.
fine.
And
Yeah.
then I like what you say? Detroit. You know,
Okay, classic.
I just like that.
All the original 6.
Toronto, I like
Boston,
Montreal's
Toronto,
cool.
Montreal's
Boston's cool.
amazing.
Rangers,
Rangers is incredible. Even the Panthers have 6
Penguins
jerseys.
jerseys are fucking cool
Penguins.
as shit.
Everybody.
Washington,
LA Kings.
Kings are cool. Their black ones are sick tough. I don't like, Utah's goofy right now. Florida's whatever.
The Utah Hockey
Nashville's
Club.
whatever. Columbus is whatever. Winnipeg's whatever. Vancouver, I love the 90s. Not now. Calgary's okay. They're cool.
Mhm.
I love Toronto and stuff like that. Ottawa, these are cool.
Dallas.
Dallas doesn't do much for me. Anaheim's okay. Their new brown.
You like the
Black.
Bruins?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Tampa Bay.
Colorado's not much for me.
Tampa.
I don't like Vegas that much. Tampa's
You don't like
okay.
Vegas? They have 6 jerseys.
I don't like the gold ones.
Oh, fine. Okay, Tampa.
Tampa's pretty cool.
It's okay.
They went through some weird things, but
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, we
there it
got
is.
through that.
Take
I'm
that-
glad you.
take that and like
I'm
it.
glad you gave us your take on that. Bench Clears, benchclears.com. Cam and Strick is the promo code. That'll save you money this holiday season, guys. Listen, all these things are great under the tree for the hockey fan and all of you. They really are. The hoodies, the ponchos, all of that. The blankets. Benchclears.com. Use the promo code. We're saving you money this holiday season as well. Cam at Bellman, you get no.
Swinging decks.
Sata Danny boy.
Danny, what up?
Say happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Is it too early to
Troy.
say that or no?
No. Troy, Missouri. Troy,
Where?
Missouri. Wagoneer. Check that bad boy. Or them Buicks.
Sata Kenny.
Kenny, get back to. What I tell you? I told you to get back to work. God damn it.
And Dale?
Dale, get Kenny in line. Love all you guys, man. What's up?
They're the best.
Troy,
Buick
Missouri.
GMC on one side of the street, Cam. At the other side, it's a Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
They got options.
It's great to have options.
They got options.
Blue Note Roofing, baby. Be sure to call David Novak. Like I said, 314-920-5713. Let him take care of you. Listen, we've enjoyed this edition. Jason Demers
He was cool.
fantastic.
Yeah, he was totally cool.
We got a great response from last week with good old boy.
Yeah.
The coach,
Bonus.
Rick Bonus, man.
Yeah.
Great stories there. And we've got lots more coming. If you have suggestions of who we should get on, or friends of yours that are players that you say, hey, man, this guy would be hilarious.
Yeah, let us know.
Reach out.
Follow us on all of our stuff.
Follow
Just type
us.
our names in and it'll
Just
pop
type
up.
the name in.
Like, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. See, dudes. Love all y'all.
See ya, y'all. Okay, get your Christmas trees up and all that. Is it too early?
Mine's
Is it
up.
too early to get the Christmas tree up or no?
Mine's up.